You are now listening to the Checkmate Arcade Podcast, episode 203, recorded on February 2nd, 2015. Brought to you by Frigid Blast Studios in association with NewBreview.com. Hello and welcome to the Checkmate Arcade Podcast, your home for quarter munching fun. And I have been trick-or-treating in January. My name is Stephen Boss, the Dark Boss Man.
And in the words of Chris Smooth, you've got to give it to Marshawn Lynch. He'll get you every inch. I'm MSU Hitman Jason Billingsley.
So that was probably a reference to the Super Bowl?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, golf clap for you.
Okay, I got it right.
For you. Yay.
Okay. Whew. All right. That thing that happened over the weekend that I wasn't watching.
Yes. I wasn't watching either, surprisingly enough, but we'll get into that in a second. Because you know that there's probably...
You were a little busy.
Yeah, I was a little busy. Just a bit.
I was busy for another reason. But obviously we'll get into that when we're talking about all the games that we've been playing.
Yeah. And
on top of the fact that we are going to crown the winners for our ever-popular Checkmate Arcade Golden King Awards.
Yes, and sometime in the Netherrealm that was last month, we recorded a Deliberation episode, which will come out sometime after this one, where we went through and in some cases narrowed each list to 6 nominees, and in all the cases but one crowned winners of those categories. And
yeah, there was some contention on those. Some. For the most part, actually, we were kind of in agreement.
I wouldn't say agreement. I mean, we did have a few that we both agreed on.
Yeah.
But,
right.
yeah, I mean, there were some contentious moments. I think the big contentious moment will be the one where
we're about to do on this episode.
Yes, because although we got the list down to 6, we did not name...
There can be only one.
We did not name the actual game of the year.
Right, and like I said, there could be only one.
Yes.
And we're about to chop the head off the other 5.
Mm-hmm.
So to speak. Yeah. Highlander reference.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
right,
I know.
anyway.
I know.
No, for the people.
Oh, right.
For the people who don't watch movies or get references that I sometimes drop.
I actually watched the TV show, so.
Oh, I was just.
Yeah.
I just was mostly saying it because of the movie.
Well, right. I mean, yeah, but I never saw the movies. I only saw the TV show. I saw the last one.
I think I only saw the first movie, if I recall it correctly.
Yeah, I don't remember what number it is. It didn't have a number, but there was one where they connected the movie franchise and the TV franchise. But that's the only one I saw.
Okay. Alright, well, since we do have a lot to talk about in terms of games, because it's been a while since we recorded.
Yeah, for various reasons. At the beginning of January, I had some work-related things come up, and then Steven had some...
oh, God, it was like the flu times the billion or something. I don't know what the hell it was.
Yeah, so
it was awful.
We were able to get the Deliberation episode done last month, and we fully intended to, record what is this episode
like a couple days later until I got super sick, but we were delayed a few times beforehand because of work as well.
Yeah, and then the other thing is Stephen, we are 7 years old.
Whoa, man. We are getting old, huh?
This podcast is going into its 7th year. I mean, it was February '08 when this podcast started.
God, I was in my 20s when we started this. Oh, God. Now I feel old.
So was I.
Yeah, I know, but I was even younger than you.
Right.
I'm still younger than you, but not by much. Oh, yeah. Man. 7 years.
Yep.
Still trucking.
Still trucking along.
That's more than I could say for a lot of shows.
Yep, that is true.
It sucks that some of those shows stopped, though. They were fun.
Yeah, apparently, even Podcast Beyond, tomorrow we're supposed to learn the last episode that Greg Miller and Colin Moriarty will be on. I fully suspect they will stop at 400. Unless IGN just doesn't want to wait that long. But right. I would think episode 400 would be a good stopping point. One last hurrah, but
yep.
I don't know. We'll see. They may not want to last that because that would take it through E3. And IGN just may not want to deal with that long.
Right. I mean, they could just put it on hiatus through E3, but...
Well, no. Yeah. I mean, no, because Greg and Colin, along with their two producers, left IGN at the beginning of January. So they're still doing Beyond as, independent contractors. And this is another one of my assumption things. I just assumed they would go on until 400 and cut it off at 400, but IGN just may not want to wait that long. Because going till 400, they're on 370 something now. That would take them until E3. Right?
Yeah.
So
on a weekly basis, yeah.
Yeah, and then they do it weekly. So I don't think they will. I don't think they'll want to wait that long.
Right. Well, like I said, we're still trucking, so.
Yep.
I think that's good. I think that bodes well for us.
Yep.
All right. Well, let's get into all the fun things that we have been doing over the past month-ish. I don't even remember at this point. But yeah, let's get into it in our Now Playing. So, my compadre of 7 years and counting, what have you been up to?
All right, we'll start with some Magic the Gathering update because with me getting some extra money at Christmas time, I was able to buy the cards that I did not, have when newer cards from when the rotation happened in the deck that I played fairly consistently all like summer long. That was all over with all spring and summer long. That a lot of that deck was no longer in standard. A lot of the cards rotated out, and because of funds and stuff, I hadn't been able to buy the cards I need. I hadn't played Magic in a few months, but I was able to find a deck that was very similar to what I'd run before, minus, a handful of cards. I got said handful of cards and put the deck together because I did have a couple of tournaments coming up in early January. First off...
So it was another red-white again?
Yes, it's red-white burn again. Yes, a newer version of it.
Okay.
So I had these tournaments coming up that I decided to go to now that I had the money to buy and the vast majority of the money was in 5 cards. Like there was one card I needed 4 of, and I had 1. I needed 3 more, and I need 2 others of this rare. So these 5 rares ended up costing me $70.
Oh,
and then the other cards I needed cost me about another 5 or 6 or so. Because they were mainly uncommons. But even some of them have gone up a little bit, specifically one of them. So, so I needed, about 13 cards, and 5 of them cost $70, and then the rest of them were a few bucks on top of that, and then mostly everything else I already had. So, so these were a couple of Pro Tour qualifiers here locally in St. Louis, and well, those actual tournaments started off really well. The first one was a 6-round tournament with a cut to a top 8, and I started off 2-0. And then I proceeded to lose the next 4 rounds in a row and finish out of the prizes.
Oof. Ouch.
And then 2 weeks later was another one. This one was 7 rounds because there were more people there. This was an actual straight Pro Tour qualifier, which there's not that many of those anymore. Magic is transitioning to this preliminary Pro Tour qualifier that there are more of, and just about any decent sized store can have. And then the winners of all of these go to kind of a regional PTQ, which will all take place around the world on the same day. And then the top 4 of those, after a cut to a top 8, or, so there's 4 Pro Tour invites given out at those, instead of, like, for example, St. Louis would have like 2 Pro Tour qualifiers, basically a year, like the St. Louis area, actual St. Louis. Now, if you were willing to go up to like Kansas City or further south or something, maybe you could get another 1 or 2 in there. But now with this format, there'd be a bunch of preliminary PTQs all leading up to this regional one, and you would have to win one of those to get your seat into this other one. I think the closest one to here is Chicago, if I remember correctly. And then you would have to get top 4 there to get an actual Pro Tour invite, or you would just have to go and place really well at a Grand Prix.
Okay.
So
this seems like a little bit more needlessly complicated than it should be.
Well, it's also Magic trying to limit, I guess, a little bit more how many players are on the Pro Tour.
Okay.
So I think that's part of it as well, and or it's also expanding it to where more stores get to host events of that caliber, because that was always the thing. Like, Pastimes wanted to run the PTQs in St. Louis, but they couldn't because the guy who runs the biggest comic book chain here in St. Louis had an in with somebody at Wizards or something, and he was the one who ran all the events. Now that loosened a little bit, and there had been like 2 PTQs that took place at a different shop, but he still got the majority of them. And then now, there's a bunch of stores running these PTQs, but there are still a few regular PTQs that are being held that were already scheduled.
Right.
So this was one of the last ones, and because of which I played people from Arkansas, and this was on a Sunday where it's not the weather that we got yesterday in the Midwest and Steven got today. But it was, it was a decent amount. There was threatening of a decent amount of snow. This was the weekend of the Grand Prix Omaha. So this is like the first full weekend of January. And so I played people from Arkansas, and I mean, people drove 6 hours to this thing.
Yeah.
So that one, I started off, it was a 7-round tournament because there were more people, and I started off 3-0. And I'm like, okay, just, I was like, okay, it's going good so far. And then I lost the next 4.
Oh, jeez.
And finished out of the prizes again.
Man, wow. Jeez, what happened? Were you cursed by somebody?
No, really what it is, even though this standard format is the most diverse of the 3 that I've been a part of since I've played Magic fairly seriously for the last 2 years, there's still the big deck, which is Abzan, which is the basically green, white, black. These used to be called, they went back to a lot of 3-color stuff, and instead of using the same shards of Alara, they're all the tribes of the realm of Tarkir.
Mm-hmm.
So they're all tied around that. So instead of it being whatever blue, black, green, or black, green, white was before, now it's called Abzan, because that's the name of the tribe.
Right.
In the set. But anyway, so there's a lot of those decks around. That's the majority of the decks, and it's based around the creature Siege Rhino.
Okay.
Siege.
And you were just having a lot of trouble dealing with it?
Yeah. Like, a lot of times what would happen is I would win the first game, and then they would side in a bunch of cards, and I would lose the next 2.
Ugh. Mm.
So, flash forward a few weeks here, and new set has come out. Fate Reforged, the second set of the Tarkir block.
Mm-hmm.
And 2 new cards have come out. This is a smaller set. And 2 new cards have come out that have apparently, which we'll get into in a second, greatly improved my deck. One is an uncommon, and one is a mythic rare.
Oh, jeez.
But I've already got the 3 that I need. So, the mythic rare is basically replaces one of the previous creatures in my deck that every sorcery or instant spell I cast, which obviously most of those are going to be burn, also have lifelink. So any spell I cast that does damage...
Wow. Just because, lifelink and whatever you're doing to them. Yep. Yeah, that's a little ridiculous.
The creature itself is a 2/2 for 1 and a white that has lifelink.
Seriously? It's that low cost?
Yes.
Wow.
And it has a third ability.
What else could this thing do that makes it more broken?
If you pay 2, and then for me, red, you could also substitute blue in there, but I don't play. This deck is red-white burn, not Jeskai burn. So 2, and then 2 mana plus 2 either blue or red. The next instant or sorcery you cast that turn, when it resolves, it would bounce back to your hand instead.
Wow.
So,
okay.
So let's say you had, I don't know, the Soulfire Grandmaster is its name. You had Soulfire Grandmaster on the field with 3 Goblin tokens. Let's just give a hypothetical example. And your opponent, and you're in game 2, and your opponent has sided in Anger of the Gods. So your opponent tries to Anger of Gods away the field, and you have all your mana open. So let's say you have at least 4 mana open. So you pay 4 for Soulfire's ability, convoke the 4 creatures to play Stoke the Flames, deal 4 damage to them, you gain 4, and then get your Stoke the Flames back, and then your creatures die.
Oh, jeez.
Anger of the Gods does 3 damage to each creature on the field.
Okay. I had at least assumed that it was some kind of wipe.
Yes. It's a wipe for weenies. Yes.
I mean, 3 that's a pretty decent amount of damage for even mid-range.
Right, it's a 1 red spell. But anyway, so I have only been able to get to use the Soulfire's get the spell back after you cast it effect only once or twice, but...
Oh, you actually have that? You have the Mythic?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because the night the set released, my store did a draft. Now, because this is the small set, you're supposed to draft 2 packs of Khans of Tarkir and 1 of Fate Reforged. Well, my store is a little weird with Standard. There's a lot of... my store is pretty much all either Legacy players that never draft, they just play Legacy and Commander on Tuesdays and buy whatever really old cards come into the shop. And then there's kind of me, and then there's a bunch of kids and younger players that don't have, basically they play, and any card they get that's worth something, they'll just trade it in for more packs. Right. They're essentially converted Yu-Gi-Oh players. So I'm able to fairly consistently, every time I go there, place in the top 3. Pretty consistently.
Right.
So I get a lot of packs there, because, and I'm a decent player. I'm not a great player. I'm a decent.
Right, yeah. I'd say you're pretty good.
I'm decent.
Better than me.
So because of that, they decided for the draft on the release night to be 3 Fate Reforged packs.
Okay.
So sign up for the draft, sit down. Now, here's the thing. I wasn't able to go to the pre-release for work reasons, and I could have, but I was facing a really long day at work on Saturday, and the last thing I wanted to do was go play Magic till 4 in the morning, and then 5 hours later have to, go to work and
get up and go to work. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's usually not a good idea.
Especially when I knew it was going to be a bad day. It was going to be a really long day, and I would actually have to work at job number 1. So, doing a lot of repair work, and it was just I really don't want it. So, had I known, though, that Soulfire Grandmaster, had I gone to the pre-release and picked Jeskai, I would have gotten a Soulfire Grandmaster promo version for free. Had I known that, I would have gone, but oh well. So anyway, we sit down for this draft on release night and open up the first pack, and the rare is Soulfire Grandmaster.
Oh, jeez.
Slam it.
Yeah, it's kind of I don't need any of these other cards, thanks.
Yeah.
I don't care if I win or lose. This is the only thing I want.
I ended up finishing second in the draft, and I was an idiot. I would have won had I not in the second pack this really crazy green rare. And I was like, well, I'm not playing green, but there wasn't a super insane... I was playing blue, white, red. There wasn't really any super great of those cards in there, and I just took the best card of those colors. And I should have just hate drafted the green rare. And the kid, the kid who hate drafted the green rare actually finished third, but caused me to have a draw with him. And I was, had I not drawn with him, I'd been 3-0.
Right.
So that cost me a bit. I finished third or fourth because of that. But I would have won. Or maybe it was second. I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah.
So that same
fast
forward later that night, that kid had or at some point had gotten a Soulfire Grandmaster and traded into the shop. The guy who runs the tournaments for the shop still owed me $20 for me giving him my promo card from the Chicago Grand Prix.
Okay.
And he'd been owing me this for months, and I just, had never... Now, the shop had a Soulfire Grandmaster priced at $20, so he bought the card and gave it to me. So now I had my 2 Soulfire Grandmasters for the tournament I was going to this last weekend in Indianapolis, that the whole store was going to. Now, the reason the whole store, or the older players, was going to it, because it was the one Star City Games Legacy Open.
Okay.
Because they're all Legacy players. They all have the old cards. I do not.
Right.
Now, I was going because there was 12 people going, it was going to be pretty cheap to go. And 2, I was able to sell some stuff to cover all my costs. So it was essentially a free roll, essentially.
Yeah.
Because I was able to sell cards I'd collected at Star City to pay for the hotel. And then I sold old Magic promo deck that I had on eBay for a bunch of money, and I sold a couple of GameCube games I had to pay for my tournament entry, which we'll get into that in the next episode.
I have a feeling I know what one of those games might have been.
Okay, what it might have been.
I'm guessing it was a Capcom game?
No.
Oh, no, okay. Alright.
No, they were the Metroid Primes.
Just taking a guess, thinking it was maybe the game that I'm looking at on your list.
What Capcom game? Oh,
yeah, that one.
Oh, yeah. No, that one's not really worth that much, so I'd just rather keep it.
I was taking a stab in the dark.
Yeah, that was a good stab. It was a good stab. You were on the right path, right system at least.
Yeah.
But we'll get into that. Why would Jason get rid of Metroid Primes? Well, we'll get into
So,
that.
wait. So, side question. So, Metroid games from the GameCube are actually worth a lot?
I wouldn't say, I mean, a little under $20.
Okay, so yeah, they're not.
Or the one that well, like 20 each.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
No, it would have to be a lot more price for that than 20 for me to get rid of those.
Well, right. Like I said, we'll get into it in the next episode when we go through all the game news, because there was a way to get the Metroid Prime trilogy for cheap.
Well, I mean, it's not that expensive overall.
It was a $50 disc at GameStop and higher than that.
No, now.
Oh, well, yes, now.
The way to get it now is not that expensive.
Right, correct.
Even full price.
Right. So, anyway, basically Saturday, I tried to get into the Two-Headed Giant, but nobody in my group quit, and nobody else there was trying to sign up for Two-Headed Giant without a partner. So basically, because I had to be there for 10. So basically, from 10 o'clock until 5 o'clock, with other than eating and one 20-minute exception, I did nothing but play Persona. Huge.
Okay.
And then at 5 o'clock, there was a 4-round standard tournament that was a $20 entry fee. You got 2 packs just for entering, and depending on how well you did, you could get more. And I got wrecked. I went 0-3 and just dropped. And I was just like, oh my gosh, what is going on? This deck should be better than this. Because I had talked with some of my friends and rearranged the sideboard, and I didn't get to the second card. The second card, the uncommon, which I had to go buy 3 of at Star City for $1.50 a pop.
It's not that heavy.
Not that bad, but still. But anyway, it's another 1 in a white spell. This is an instant spell, and I always screw up the first part of the name. Valorous Stance? Yes, Valorous Stance. Thank you. I was right. It's Valorous Stance. This is a 1.
All right, so
1 in a white instant. It has 2 modes. Target creature becomes indestructible, or destroy target creature with toughness 4 or greater.
That seems pretty good.
Yes, because what happens, Siege Rhino that I mentioned earlier, the big king of standard, is a 4/5.
Ooh, okay, well.
Yes, and there are a lot of other cards that deck uses that have creatures with 4 toughness. There's a lot of creatures out there.
So do you know what happened? How you got wrecked?
I mean, the cards just didn't come. I mean, I played 1 Obzon deck. I played 1 really weird homebrew deck. Yeah. And it just, things just didn't go too terribly well. And I was like, well, I'm already pre-registered for this tournament. Let's go and let's see what happens. So fast forward to the tournament Sunday, win round 1. Okay, cool. Then proceed to lose the next 2.
Oh, jeez.
The third one was really bad and really quick because it was blue-white heroic, which is basically a weenie deck with enchantments. Cheap creatures, cheap enchantments, And the creatures, every time you put an enchantment on them, they get a 1/1 counter. And then
Yep.
and then
That sounds like a deck I'd run. Yeah.
yes, and then the enchantments when they attack, give them 1/1 counters.
Yeah.
You play
Yep.
pump spells on them that give them the pump plus a 1/1 counter, and yes, this would be your deck.
Oh yeah. Yep. That sounds like exactly the deck I would run.
Yes, and it's a very good deck. It's not that it's not that expensive.
It sounds right up my alley.
I mean, the only way it gets expensive is if you want to actually buy, if you actually want the fetch land, so you can, pay a life and go get the land you want, so that you're not mana screwed as much. I mean, other than that, the deck is pretty cheap to make. You could go without the fetch lands and do it even cheaper.
Right. So,
I get wrecked by this deck because I don't get land.
Oh, that's...
Game 1, I got stuck on 1 land. I kept a 1 land hand with 6 cards thinking, I'm on the draw. I don't want to go to 5. Okay, let's try this. And an opponent goes...
I mean, the odds were with you.
Yes.
There's no reason you shouldn't have drawn at least one more.
Yeah. But my opponent goes, Plains, Foul-Wise, Hoplite, go. I'm like, oh, damn it. Of all the times. And then game 2, my opponent keeps his 7. I mulligan to 6. I get 6. I see 2 mountains, 2 white removal spells, and 2 red cards. And it's like, well, I can't go to 5 because he kept his 7. So I know he's got the curve. So I'm just going to have to play this and hope I get a white source. And I don't. And I get wrecked. And I was like, let's go to lunch. We had a half hour left to go in the round. So this is at the Indiana Convention Center where Gen Con is. So there's that mall attached to it. And
okay, yeah. Now I remember it. Yeah.
So I'm sitting there by myself eating. The mall had just opened because it was right at noon. And I'm just like, well, I'll keep going here. 5-3 probably has an outside shot for prizes, although my shot will stink because my tiebreakers are probably terrible. But if I get 4 losses, I'll just drop and play Persona until everyone else is done. Because we only had, of the 11 people who went into the Legacy Open, only 1 made day 2. They've changed the Opens to where they're 2 days.
Okay.
So, and the rest of them played in the Modern. I was the only one in the Standard. The rest of them played the same event I was in, except it was Modern.
Okay.
So anyway, I go from that 1 and 2, and I come back, and then I wheel off 5 straight wins. And finish 6-2.
Well, damn. That's pretty good.
And in 8 rounds of this tournament, I played 8 different decks. Now, some of them shared colors, but they were different decks. Like, the last 3 decks were all Jeskai decks, but one was Jeskai Control, one was Jeskai Aggro, and one was Jeskai Tokens.
Huh. All right.
And I made a kind of stupid move because going into the 8th round, I was in 26th place. Only the top 32 got prizes. And I didn't get a chance to look at the full, standing sheet. And I was worried that if I took a draw, that there was a bunch of other people that were going to take a draw near me, and that I would fall out of the prizes because I didn't have much room for error. And I was like, no, let's play this out. Let's play. And had just this epic match, especially game 3. I won't get into full details. I've talked enough here, but it was just insane turn that I had here. Had to call a judge over, walk away from the table, drew a crowd around us because, why is somebody standing up with the judge away from the table? Let's go look at what's going on. And just this new card just wrecked this guy's day.
Oh, jeez.
Because I had...
Which card?
Valorous Stance.
Yeah,
I wrecked his day with this card.
Okay.
And I had to. He had an ability on the stack, and I had to make sure, because if I cast the spell at the wrong time, it would be a legal cast, and I would have to choose mode 1, which is target creature is indestructible. And I had no creatures on the board. So that would not be good.
Okay.
Yeah. And this card just won me so many games from the sideboard. It's just crazy. It is like just the ultimate sideboard card. Because in game 2, people will be like, oh, I'm going to kill your Goblin Rabble Master. I'm going to kill your Soulfire. And it'll be like, yep, indestructible.
Yeah, that'll really ruin their day.
Yeah. Or swing my Goblin Rabble Master, and he's really big, 7'2", 6'2", whatever, 4'2", and they're like, oh, okay, I'll block the Rabble Master. Oh, he's indestructible. Your thing dies. Mine doesn't.
Another way to ruin their day.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that was fun. So I ended up finishing.
God, I miss slinging some cards.
Yeah. I ended up finishing 17th and winning $50, which equals in 2 years of Magic in terms of cash prizes. We're not talking packs here. In terms of cash prizes, that equals 4 years of my competitive versus play.
Oh, jeez. That's... yeah, it's better than most of my years in versus.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not counting packs
because
stuff.
I didn't get anything for years and years.
Yeah,
Only once did I get actual pay off anything.
Well, I a lot of times won packs and things, Hobby League, stuff like that. But in terms of money,
yeah, money is what that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I mean, well,
there was only one time I got paid.
We did a four-way. We did like a four-way split at one of the last PCQs in St. Louis, and we all took like 2 people took 75 each, and me and someone else took 50. Because like all 4 of us knew each other, so we played out we got to the top 4, and it was against Kart, and I made an utterly stupid move and cost myself getting in the top 2.
Yeah.
So, anyway, so I was really excited, but the thing is, 16th place would have been $100 and a playmat. So I finished, but had a fun day, and I feel
really
confident.
Good.
Yeah, fun day, confident in the deck now.
Yeah,
I think it's pretty good. This new card, the Soulfire, just proved itself, because people just be like, Seeker of the Way. No. This card blows away Seeker of the Way in every shape and form, and Valorous Stance just is an all-star.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the Magic for me. So,
alrighty.
Yeah,
sounds like you had some good times.
Yep, some good times. Not the best times coming back.
Well, I mean, when you're driving through snow,
we didn't drive through that much snow. Thankfully, we didn't leave, because we had, besides me fighting for top 16 of the standard premier IQ, we had 2 people fighting for top 8 and another fighting for top 32 of the modern one. So we had to stay until both of those events were done. So we didn't leave Indy until 7 o'clock. And thankfully, all the madness of everybody leaving and driving like maniacs and wrecking, all that stuff was cleared away, because literally they made an announcement at the standard tournament. We were in round 5 or 6, and they're like, this way north is closed, this way north is closed, this way south is closed, this way east is closed. I-70 west of St. Louis is open, but we don't know for how long, because there's been some wrecks reported there.
Jeez.
But thankfully by then everything had cleared up, and we were able
people seem to lose their minds when weather just seems to happen.
Yeah. We were able to get back, but my car was at the game store. Because obviously, we can't drive a convertible with multiple people going. and everybody's
Yeah.
cars decided to break down on the way back, or once we got back into St. Louis. So I
Oh boy.
barely got back to the card shop in 15, 20 degree weather, so I can get in my car and go.
Yeah.
And my car didn't like starting up and going. I mean, it was okay, but it was like, I've been out here for 2 days and you haven't started me. I'm not happy.
Yeah, sometimes cars will get a little moody in cold weather.
Yeah. So.
Especially if they're not constantly used to it.
Yeah, but got back. So everything good. And so that's the end of Magic Corner. But
Sweet.
Feeling pretty good with the deck, and can't wait to go to some more tournaments with it if they're available to me at a time I can go. Yeah. But we'll get into video games because I primarily played this time 3DS. Played a bit of Mario Kart 7, although most of my actual playing of it was over Christmas break when I was home. The rest of it was just checking Street Passes, but I did play some while home for Christmas. I got...
what's the Street Pass in that? Just Ghost, right?
It's Ghost, yeah.
Okay.
But it only holds a max of 10, so I just clear them all. You know, it's like, go into the game, go in the Mario Kart channel. Oh, hi, Ghost. Yeah, hover over. Yeah, okay, yeah, great. Exit. And...
Yeah.
But I did complete all 4 of the MK7 circuits, none of the retro ones, on 100cc.
Damn, for a second there, when you said MK7, I'm like, Mortal Kombat 7? That's all I thought when you said that. And I'm like, wait, no, he's talking about Mario Kart, right?
Yes. So I
don't know.
I've gotten first place.
My brain goes weird places.
All right, so I've got first place on all 4 100cc Mario Kart 7 course sets. I had done
now, when you say first place, you mean the first place trophy at the end of the 4?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah, because otherwise you'll have to get 3 stars on everything.
Right.
If you want to perfect everything.
Yeah.
And I played through the remaining 100cc courses that I had left and barely got first on some of them.
But then so that's all for Mario Kart. But the main thing that I played this weekend, because not only was it on the drive up and the drive back, but it was all day Saturday. I mean, literally, we're talking like 6+ hours on Saturday. 3 hours or so on the way up and 2 hours or so on the way back.
Yeah,
was Persona Q.
Well, I mean, it's an RPG and it's a long one.
Yeah. I am on the 3rd floor of the 2nd dungeon.
Okay.
So I've made pretty good progression. And one of the ones in our group works at one of the games, not a GameStop, but one of the tabletop. Oh, I know who it is now. He works at Game Night. He's the one that... Okay, so one of the stores that I went to is Game Night. So he works at Game Night. And this guy designed a really cool system. So Game Night has a thing. If you're looking for Magic singles, you don't go, can I see your binder, and get the binders out. No. You go to they have a computer, and you type in the name of the card, and
they have a database of it.
Yes, he built a custom database, and you type in the name of the card, and it shows up with a picture of the card and says whether or not the store has it in stock or not. And it auto updates and everything. You pick which cards you want and hit buy, and it prints out a thing at the counter for them to find the cards.
Nice. All right.
Yeah. So now I knew I recognized him from somewhere, but he was an Etrian Odyssey person. So he saw me playing and was asking questions he didn't know about. And he really liked Etrian Odyssey, but he was like, he'd beaten 1. He played quite a bit of 2. He hadn't played that much of 3. He played the 4 demo, and like me, he thought it was too hard. And so basically I sold him on this game because it was Etrian Odyssey. He's not a huge Persona person. He likes Persona enough. I mean, he's he knows of it. He's not as big a fan of it as I am, but he was so excited because I'm telling him all these different mechanics. And he's like, "This is way easier than the old Etrian Odysseys." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's kind of what I've heard. I don't have much experience, but this is how this works and this is how that works." He's like, "Oh my gosh, I need to get this game." And I was like, "Yeah, just wait for the price to drop because Atlas tax and all, and you're not a huge Persona person, so just wait for this to drop in the summer and get it. You'll really like it." So he was really excited. So I've been carrying along and doing pretty well, I guess. I may not be doing it. I don't know if I'm doing everything right. Like, I'm kind of worrying when I play the Persona games because, like, I'm at Persona 4 Golden and I'm like on the last, like, I am at the last week that you have open before, and I've already started. I'm already on the path for the bonus dungeon that's exclusive to Golden. And see, once I pass this last week, all the events are automatic until you get to this dungeon. And then after that, you fast forward to the ending of the game. So I need to get these high-level personas, which is just grinding, so that I get enough stuff to infuse everything and be high enough level and this and that. So the only reason I've not beat 4 Golden is because now I'm at that point where I just wish I had the Tales of Vesperia thing to be like, can I just buy these Persona, please? Please?
I mean, you could just ignore that extra dungeon.
You can't. I can't.
Oh, you can't now?
I can't now. No.
No.
Well, even regardless, to beat the game, to get the true ending of the game, not only do I have to do that dungeon, but I would have to do all the events at the end of the game. And that requires these Persona that have, like, the one spell that debilitates everything on the enemy. There's, like, Trumpeter or whatever is the spell. Basically, it's a spell that lower...
Okay, yep. Now you're reminding me exactly of what Vinny and Jeff went through.
Yes.
When they were trying to get the guy with Trumpeter?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Yes, because you gotta be able to, in one shot, lower attack, defense, and evasion, and you gotta get that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's where I'm at. Except I have a bonus dungeon and bonus time to grind that they didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So anyway, I'm worried about what I'm doing in Persona in terms of everything because they don't make guides for Persona games, so I'm having to go into this playing it like a normal person.
Oh my god, shocking. You have to play it like a plebeian.
Yes.
Like the rest of us.
Yes.
Like I would play.
Yes.
Oh my god, the horror.
Trust me, I wish Persona Q had a guide to make sure I was doing everything properly. But thankfully, I struggled a little bit with the first dungeon, and I said this last episode, and I can't stress this enough. Naoto. I don't care if you don't like the character, which I don't know why that would be, but Naoto.
Okay.
You play as that character. I don't want to spoil anything because you haven't played Persona 4. You get that character. Even if you start with the 3 cast, you're going to have to do like I did and suffer through the first dungeon until you get to the end of it. And then Naoto is in your party at all times, no matter what. Just deal with it.
Why would someone have to deal with it?
Well, because they may like the Persona...
The ability?
No, because some people may be like, well, I like Persona 3, and I don't want to play with any of the Persona 4 characters, or, because you have a selection of like 14 characters, you can only use 5.
Okay.
So you have to kind of pick and choose which ones you're going to use. And
but you're recommending Naoto for what reason?
Because every single peon creature in all the dungeons is weak to either light or darkness. And Naoto is the only one that has instant kill darkness or light spells by default.
Both? Wow.
Yes.
Nice. Okay.
Yes. That's how that persona is in Persona 4 as well.
I don't remember.
Yes.
It's been too long.
Yeah. So basically, you just have to, when you first get into a dungeon, attack the characters once with light. And if it doesn't say, hey, they're weak to it, then try attacking them with darkness. And 9 times out of 10, all the regular cannon fodder enemies are weak to one or the other. And remember what I said last episode, if you attack somebody with the element or whatever ability they're weak to, as long as that character doesn't get hit during that round of combat, their next ability costs nothing.
Oh, nice.
So you get a group of 3 enemies, and you try to get somebody else with darkness or light, which right now I have a persona on the Persona 3 hero that does darkness. So basically, he and Naoto take out 2 of the 3 enemies, and then basically there's 1 left, and one, you just clean up after that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So, and Naoto's the only one, it's the only persona in the game that has both light and dark. And then when those spells upgrade, they hit the whole field at once, not just one enemy.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's a RPG staple that I love, is constantly hitting everything on the field.
Yeah. So basically, you just get Naoto, even if you don't like Persona 4, you get Naoto, and Naoto...
I mean, come on. How do you not like Naoto?
I know, but...
Awesome character.
Right.
I'm trying to make sure I don't say the thing.
Right.
Just because it's fun.
Yeah.
It's a fun thing when you discover it.
Right. So, yeah, I mean, basically just run with Naoto. Naoto turns the game even more into easy mode, which is fine, because let's put it like this. I'm on the 3rd floor of the 2nd dungeon. There's 4 dungeons in the game, and I'm assuming there's a 5th one because there's this ominous clock tower in the courtyard. I'm assuming that's the final one. So there's 4 or 5 dungeons.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking from the opening.
Yeah, so there's 4 or 5 dungeons in the game. So this is a grind. I've played this game for about, I think I was at just under 20 hours. And okay. I'm hypothetically about close to halfway through it. So it's a bit of a grind, but Naoto makes it a lot easier.
All right.
So yeah, so I wish I had known that going through the first dungeon.
Right.
I didn't use Naoto at all. And that's kind of why I wasn't playing Persona that much. And I started looking some stuff up, and then just everybody was just like, some people were halfway complaining that Naoto turned the game to easy mode. And then I put Naoto in the party, and I'm like, it just clicked. I was just like, oh my gosh, this is easy. Alright, so let's move on to Wii U.
Alright.
When I was home at Christmas, I played some new Super Mario Bros. U with my cousin and his wife.
Okay.
Who loved...
So multiplayer mode.
Well, yeah, they were playing on my Pro Controller, and I had the tablet, and I was drawing... I was making the blocks to try to help them out. I was trying to help. I was not...
okay. You weren't trolling them like some people.
No, I was not trolling them. I was trying to get us through stages.
Some of those videos I've seen of people trolling.
Yeah.
Oh god, it's just so ridiculous.
Yeah. No, this was no trolling. This was legitimately trying to help to get through the stages.
Okay.
So, yeah, that was a lot of fun. So I had a lot of fun with that.
All right.
When I came back, I got into Hyrule Warriors for a bit.
All right. So you don't have any problems with how the missions are designed and how confusing the directions are or where to go?
I'm not saying this was the best game of last year. I like it fine. It's much like not as good as Persona Q, but I look at it as kind of like Persona Q. This is the one Dynasty Warriors game I'm going to play. I will never play another game in the Dynasty Warrior series. I will play this. You
shouldn't, because their designs are terrible. If their actual core design was better, wading through swaths of enemies would be more fun.
Jim Sterling and others really like them, and that's fine. But, much like Persona, I'm not going to play any other Etrian Odyssey games. I'm just not. But this one's Persona, so I'll play it. This one is Zelda, so I'll play it. And it's fine.
Okay.
I did play the 99 Nights, the original one on 360, and that was pretty good. That was kind of like a hard Dynasty Warriors. Like, that one was legit hard.
Yeah, but I also think it had slightly better design.
Yeah.
For, getting around the battlefield, telling you what you needed to do.
Yeah.
It was a little more clear.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say that.
I remember right.
Yeah, I would say that, but I just have fun with it. I have fun, with all the Zelda characters and playing as the different ones, and it's fine. It's a fine game. I have no problems with it at all. It's really kind of weird because like that game's starting to become a little hard because like eBay sent me an email. It's like, oh, don't trade your games in at GameStop, sell them on eBay. And
yeah, they sent me one too.
Okay, so did you see so did you have the same ones or I did where they were like, well, the average price of this, average price of most of the new games was like eBay final auction price or bid or whatever. They were all like in the 40s or whatever.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
But then there's like Hyrule Warriors that is literally selling on eBay for $2 under its MSRP. It was like Hyrule Warriors 57. I'm like,
I couldn't remember that part though.
Okay, well maybe yours didn't say that. I don't know.
It probably did, but I just don't remember.
Okay, yeah, that just kind of shocked me because I was like, I know on my local GameStop does not get the physical copy of Zelda Wind Waker HD in. Like it's just not in.
Okay.
And like looking on Amazon, the Hyrule Warriors guide sells for 48, or not the guide. I'm sorry. The game sells for 48 used on Amazon. So, yeah. So,
hey, if that's actually what they're selling for, brand new?
No,
or
that's new is 60.
Used?
Yeah.
Is that the used one then?
Used ones are 48. I mean, Amazon is selling new ones for 55.
That's not bad.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's just crazy. Like, the Nintendo Wii U games just keep their value.
It's just because they're not producing enough of them.
Well, 3D World sells for 40 used. Donkey Kong's almost there. Sells Wind Waker. Mario Kart's at 45.
They just don't print enough of those discs.
Yeah.
They just don't. They get hard to find.
Yep. But anyway, so I mean, I enjoyed Hyrule Warriors. I haven't played it in a while because I got stuck on a stage. I think it's the one that they did in the Giant Bomb Quick Look. And
I got stuck on a stage, huh?
Yeah.
Shocking in a Warriors game.
Yeah. So I played a few levels of it and it's fine. I want to play it some more at some point. I just other stuff's come up. So what I need to get into is Smash Brothers. I barely only dabbled in. I played a little bit of it. I think I'm going to try to start playing as Robin. And this is another Nintendo. This is a game where I wish I could just pay $10 and unlock all the extra characters. Because I'm not good enough in Smash to do the special things I need to do to unlock them. And the only other way to unlock them is to play hundreds or even thousands of matches before they unlock. And it's like, Nintendo, why can't I just pull an EA and pay you $10 and they're unlocked?
You can just do like one stock.
Yeah.
Make it super quick.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to have to do.
It really, no, when I was doing that for Brawl or Melee, it's super quick to do those.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to have to do. Because the other things are like, well, win this mode, win that mode, and it's just,
yeah,
I can't beat Master Hand, which sucks. Yeah, I'm not very good at Smash. Well, I own Smash for GameCube, but I never got to play it because nobody ever wanted to play it. So literally, I just did that single player mode. I fiddled around with it, but I never got through it all the way to beat it. So it's not like I've played Master Hand all the crazy amount of times like most people have. So,
I mean, he's not super hard.
I wasn't able to beat him in normal difficulty of whatever this mode was I was playing, where it was him at the end.
All right.
But yeah, all right. So
what's your character?
Well, I don't have Lucina yet, so I'm going with Robin right now.
Okay. So more magic based.
Yeah. I mean, sword as well.
Right, but I mean, the character is a bit more magic than some of the other characters with swords.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of, but you can only use each spell.
I think it's like a kind of a mix between Marth and like Princess Zelda.
Yeah. It's a mixture because you can only use each spell so many times before.
Yeah.
The spell book.
Oh, okay. So they even threw in a little bit of Fire Emblem in there.
Yes.
Wow, okay. Interesting.
Yes, on Robin, each spell you only get so many uses, and then the book, burns up or whatever, just disappears, and then you aren't able to do that move for 30 seconds to I forget what I had to look in the guide. They're all like 30 seconds to a minute before you die, one or the other, whichever happens first.
Okay, so it has actually a cooldown on it.
Yeah.
All right.
And then even his sword attacks do, because he's got like the Levin sword. And if you use that too many times, then it drops down to bronze sword. Yeah, so.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have Lucina yet, so.
So those are definitely things I did not know they had added.
Yeah.
That sounds even more interesting.
Now, that's only for Robin. I don't think any of the other Fire Emblem characters have that. That's just a Robin exclusive thing.
Well, I mean, to be fair, doesn't Lucina have the sword from the main game?
Well, right. She is Marth.
The sword is indestructible anyway.
Well, right. But she is basically a female copy of Marth, except her attacks do the same. Basically, I think with Marth, his attacks do more damage if you hit them with the point of the sword versus the actual blade or whatever or something.
Yeah, that was, I think, a trait in one of the previous games.
Right,
too.
well, but Lucina just does the same damage. Like, that doesn't matter. Lucina just does a set rate of damage, which is in between the two of Marth. So, like, Marth's attack will do between these ranges. Hers is in the middle of those two.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
All right.
Yeah. All right, well. Moving on to PS4. I've got a few different things on here. Only one or two I've played a great amount of. I bought Transistor on the Christmas indie sale that Sony had. Well, I bought it, a little over a month ago, 5 weeks ago, with this Christmas sale. And then this month, granted, I only paid $7.50 for it, whatever. I was like, well, Transistor is one of these games. The first decent sale it gets, I'm going to buy it.
Yeah.
So, okay.
No, that's kind of what I was waiting for on PC when I got it a couple of months ago.
Yeah. Well, now 5 weeks later, it's PlayStation Plus Game of February.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They like to do that.
Yeah. So I played a little bit of it. I mean, great music. I mean, we argue. You'll hear in the episode. I mean, some of this stuff I'll just be short here because a lot of it I talk about in there. But I really like the way they use the speaker on the PlayStation controller. For the sword talking to you and the different the abilities you unlock are all based on people of that world, and those stories are told to you through the controller. You can set it up for the TV as well, but I just really like how they do the sound in there. The combat's a little interesting. I'd really like to actually get into Bastion, because most people still say Bastion's a better game, but I mean, this one's not bad.
That game is so good.
It's
so good!
Yeah, I need to play that.
It's so good, I bought it multiple times.
Yeah. Alright, so another one that I bought during this indie sale for Christmas was Valiant Hearts. This was another one that I said, first decent sale for it on PS4, I'm going to get it. So, because it's a single player thing. So
yeah, I still never played through the demo.
Yep. So I got Valiant Hearts. I mean, that one's really fun. Yeah, I mean, this is kind of a
Well,
more
I
traditional
mean,
adventure game.
I wouldn't exactly call it a
Well,
fun
well,
game.
the tone,
The
yes.
tone is not meant to be
Yes, the
fun.
tone's
That's
not
for
meant to
sure.
be fun, but it's fun exploring and figuring out,
The
the
puzzles.
puzzles, because it's more of a traditional adventure game than, say, Walking Dead or Wolf Among Us. So, I mean,
Yeah.
it's fun in the gameplay, but yes, it's a very somber tone.
Oh yeah.
And the history buff in me likes reading all the historical things you unlock.
Well, I mean,
Codec entries. It's not called that, but that's essentially what it is.
Yeah. World War One is kind of like one of those mysterious things because it happened so long ago, where there aren't really veterans around anymore from that.
Well,
so it's a little harder for people to keep it in their minds as to what went on during that war.
Right, and then 20-ish years later, you had the Second World War, and that one is more. And this may be more of a United States thing. I mean, we didn't get involved in outside of a few volunteers. We didn't really, as a country, get involved with World War One until near the very end. So it's not like it's taught in our schools as much as World War Two is.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's called the Forgotten War for a reason.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's not very many games, I mean, based on it or based around it, even. So.
Yeah, I couldn't even name another one.
I mean, it's a very interesting game. I mean, it's a great art style. It's a very somber tone, but it's a very well. It's one of the two highlights of the Ubisoft catalog, or one of the three three highlights, I would say, out of the Ubisoft catalog of last year.
I'll talk about one of the other ones.
Yeah.
And you'll talk about the other one.
Yeah, well, I actually own the one that you talk about because that was part of the sale as well. I just haven't played it yet. All right, moving on. I played a bunch of Madden Ultimate Team, mostly single player and just collecting cards for Madden NFL 15.
Okay.
I actually have the digital version of the game now because for Super Bowl week on PlayStation and for 2 weeks on Xbox, they were selling the digital version of the game for $24, and it came with 3 players and 10 packs.
Okay.
And basically, trade in my physical disc at GameStop pretty much covered the cost of buying the game as a download.
Yeah.
So I have Madden digitally now.
Okay.
I opened those packs. I got one really good player, a couple decent ones, and the bonus ones for that version were probably the best stuff I got. So I've got a pretty decent Madden team now.
All right.
I'm just not good at it against other humans, but I've got a pretty decent team now. So I beat the final act of Diablo III Ultimate Evil Edition. Boy, they kind of leave that on a bit of a cliffhanger, don't they?
I wouldn't know because I still haven't played that part of it.
Okay.
I'm so pissed I still haven't gone back and finished the my season 1 character up and gone through all the new content. Yeah, I got to do it before the I want to say it's the 12th when they reset the season. Go to season 2.
Yeah, I'm not for sure about all that. I mean, like, I played through it on PS3, the first 4 acts, played the 5th act on PS4. My female wizard's like 47 or so on normal difficulty. I think that's pretty good. So then I started up adventure mode in hard.
That's not too bad. Yeah.
Yeah, so I started up adventure mode on hard and just kind of looked around that a little bit and just left it there.
Hard is actually really easy once you get even a tiny amount of good gear.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't want to up it too much. I'm taking baby steps here.
Hard is about where you want it, actually, because it gives you way more XP.
Yeah.
You would probably have at least another 10, 11 levels, maybe in 12.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'd like to get a character to 70, at some point, but...
Oh yeah, that's actually what I was aiming for when I went hard on my Season 1 character.
Yeah.
I'm actually, I think, pretty close. I think it was like right around 60.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, just another one because I've got such a digital backlog on the PS4, it's just crazy. One of those games, although I started a bit briefly, I just fiddled around with it a little bit, was the Resident Evil Remake Remastered.
Yeah. Okay. So, does it hold up?
Yeah. I mean, it holds up. I mean, it was a gorgeous game on the GameCube in a non-HD era, and now you've got 1080p widescreen, and it's just gorgeous. That art design, it just works with the pre-rendered backgrounds. It just works so much better than all this late 90s polygon stuff. I mean, the pre-rendered backgrounds just look timeless and so great in high def. And I like the new control scheme. You can go back to the tank controls if you want, but...
What did they do to change?
So basically, if you're wanting to run whichever direction you're running, even when the screen changes, as long as you hold that same direction down on the analog stick, you will run that direction. So say like you're wanting to run down the hall or up the hall or whatever. And sometimes when the screen changes, before you would have to stop and tank and go in the right direction. This time, as long as you're holding that direction down, you're going to stay running that direction.
Okay. And that's the only change?
To the controls, mainly, yes. I mean, that's pretty much the main...
That doesn't seem that bad. That seems good.
Yeah, some purists or the tank controls, you can turn them on if you want. So, whatever.
Tank controls have never been good.
Yeah, we just didn't know better back then.
Yeah. We didn't have games that were good.
Yeah. I'm really wanting them to do this to Resident Evil 0. And now that we have...
I mean...
Yeah, but imagine that game
from what I remember...
With actual human co-op.
Well... I mean, yeah, yes. Alright. So there's possible some merit to that.
And plus it was stuck on the game.
I doubt they will ever do that, though.
Well... I mean, they up-converted this. I wouldn't think...
No. Not just the up-convert. You want the online co-op.
Well, yeah.
I don't think they will do that.
I don't know. I mean, we'll see, but I just think that would be good because fewer people played Resident Evil 0 because it's a GameCube/Wii exclusive. So
yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, but part of the reason...
It was definitely one of the ones I liked the least.
Well, part of that reason is because you had this AI you had to control, you had to order around. It was a better version of what ended up being put in Resident Evil 5, which got worse, which is crazy.
In 6?
No. Well, I mean, in 5, you can see in 0 what they tried to replicate that in 5 and failed miserably.
Huh.
Remember Sheva or Chris, whichever, most people it was Sheva, if you played single player, and just wasting ammo, wasting the herbs too early.
I usually didn't have a problem. I don't know. I just would manage her inventory the same way I would manage mine.
Well, right. I mean, most people, if they played RE5 solo, they just give her a melee weapon and like no healing items, or just have her carry all the ammo. Well, I'm just saying that's how.
Jeez. Just give her a melee weapon. What are you, crazy? Come on, you gotta give her something. I mean, you're gonna have enough bullets that it's not gonna be a problem.
All right. But so I mean, I just fiddled around a bit with Resident Evil. It was a lot. It's it's Resident Evil Remake, but I was fiddling around with it, and I was lost a little bit. I probably need to restart it because I've been, I wasn't doing a pure run of it, and not knowing where I was going, and I was just fiddling around with it to talk about on the show. But yeah, I mean, it's great. If you've never played this on GameCube, get this. is the definitive version of Resident Evil 1.
Yeah, no, it's definitely the version you want. It was really good when I played it back on the GameCube.
Yeah. And the last thing that I played, and not much of, was Far Cry 4. I was able...
There's the other Ubisoft game.
Yeah. I was able to get a really cheap digital copy of the game, and after painstakingly waiting over a day for it to fully install...
Yeah. Man.
Well, slow internet speed for me is part of that.
Yeah, that's not just you.
Yeah. The only thing I've been able to do with it, and I just hadn't had time to do anything else, I did the alternate super secret ending.
The Wait 15?
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah. So I did that at the beginning, and then I just haven't picked it up since. So
that's pretty fun.
Yeah. So that's all I can say about it. It's kind of cool that they kind of hid something like that in there.
Yeah, and they don't even have an achievement for it, which is so crazy.
Yeah, that was kind of the reason why I did it, because I didn't look at the achievements. I figured, and I looked at one of them, and I thought that it was an achievement for that, but it wasn't. Or a trophy, I should say.
It's so weird.
Yeah.
They hid that in the game, and you finish the whole game in 15 minutes if you just stop and wait, just like he asks.
Yeah.
And then they don't give you anything for it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, well.
Yeah, wasn't happy with that.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's a cool little Easter egg.
Yeah.
If nothing else.
All right.
At least you can get an imaginary achievement for it.
Yeah. Exactly. You have something fun to talk about. So.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I am done. So Steven, what have you been playing?
Oh, let's see. Well, we talked about Mario Kart 7, finished up the 100cc tracks, and that's about all there is to say about that.
You got all 8. You did all 8, right?
8.
Well, there's the 4.
8 separate circuits? Yes.
I only did the top 4 so far. I've not done the bottom.
No, I did every single one of those circuits.
Okay.
Barely finishing with the first place trophy at the end of some of them.
Yeah.
The last one I did, the one at the star one at the top, in the top row.
Yeah.
Oh god, I freaking tied with Bowser, but because I was the player, I win.
Right.
So yay me. I got 0 stars for that one. Wasn't too happy about that, but you know what? I'm gonna say screw it and moved on. So yeah, I don't know if I want to go to the 150cc tracks now. Yeah. I don't know how much more I can take of that blue shell just coming out of nowhere and screwing me. Oh boy. Yeah, real happy. Mario Kart 8 has a way to get around it.
Yeah.
Oh, but then I was also playing a ton of Picross E5 for my 3DS as well. So much so that I finished every single one of those puzzles in the game. Every single one of those puzzles. I'm kind of in Picross withdrawal now. So now I don't have any more Picross to play. Now I have to wait a couple more months before Picross E6 comes out. Because that's on its way too. No clue when the release date is though. So hopefully it'll be in a couple months. Because Picross E5 was out in mid-December or early December. One of those. And the newest game was released in Japan, I want to say, at the end of last year. At the end of December-ish. Somewhere around there. So, probably 2 or 3 more months. And we'll get another one. And then I can start my obsession all over again. God, I play too much Picross, but you know what? I don't care. Alright, we'll hit up the repeat on PC as well. Played a little bit of Hearthstone to kick off this year with the right way. Because why not? Best thing to do on June 1st was to play some some Hearthstone and try and level myself up, get those gold packs. Got a couple of cards that I didn't have before.
Okay.
So, worth it.
Yep.
Oh, and then we'll do all the 360 stuff, and then we'll get to the new fun thing.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
There's a fun little story attached to that one.
Okay.
And my obsession for all of last month. It was basically the only thing I was playing for a good majority of the month. Alright, so repeats first. Played some Call of Duty Advanced Warfare before the end of December and got myself up to Prestige 4, level 21. And haven't played it since. We'll talk about why shortly. Then I was thinking, well, I should probably get some of these demos off the hard drive just because a bunch of these things were on sale. So I'm like, yeah, let's play through some of these demos. Played through the Ubisoft third game that was super good from last year. Mm-hmm. Played through the demo for Child of Light on Xbox Live Arcade.
Hey, I own that. I haven't played it yet.
And after playing through the demo, I was like, yes, this game is pretty good. This combat system's pretty fun. It's basically turn-based, kinda. It's a weird mix of real-time and turn-based. Mm-hmm. You have an active bar at the bottom of the screen that shows where you are in relation to taking your turn as opposed to where your enemies are taking their turn. And as soon as your turn comes up and you can activate an effect, the game pauses to let you choose your action. And then as soon as you choose your action, it goes back to real time.
Okay.
You also have the ability to inhibit your opponent's progress across this action bar at the bottom, because as soon as they hit the end of the bar, their action goes off. So you kind of want to let them not hit the end of the bar as much as possible.
Right.
So they give you, I think it's this little fairy. I don't remember what it was exactly. It's like this ball of light or something.
Okay.
And you can control it with the right stick.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say. So you can control where it is on the screen, and then you hit one of the buttons to have it project a ton of light, because all the enemies in the world are kind of unhappy with light. So they'll freeze up and seize and slow down their progress on the action bar. So you're extremely hindering them when you're doing this. Now, of course, there has to be a balance to that. The little fairy or whatever it was, I can't remember, it has a meter that governs exactly how long you can use that ability. Mm-hmm. It's pretty quick to recharge when you're not in combat. It's also really simple to recharge it when you're in combat, because there's scattered across the screen. There's usually a couple like bushes or plant-like objects that you can sweep your little fairy friend across, and then he'll like project a bunch of orbs that you can quickly grab to regenerate not only your light projecting ability, but also some of your magic ability and some of your health. Okay. So it's a little extra bonus for you to help you out. Sometimes you'll need it, because if you don't have the weapon, if you don't have the affinity on your weapon or on your defense that is strong against the enemy, you might be in trouble. So you're definitely going to want to be using those. You play as, I want to say it's Aura. She is the main character.
Okay, I don't remember the name.
The demo's not that long. It gets you right up to the point where you would be fighting a boss battle, I want to say. And then it goes, well, this is bad. If you want to play the boss battle, here's the full game. But I mean, that was enough of a taste to let me know that, yeah, the battle system's pretty good. And it's a fun little exploration because you get to fly around throughout the maps. It's pretty fun. So I was like, yeah, all right, for half price, I'll definitely happily buy that with my points. No longer on sale though, obviously.
Yeah.
Because that was over the Christmas sale.
Right.
So that happened a long time ago. Another one of the games that was on sale, Legend of Korra, based off the animated TV series from Nickelodeon.
Yeah, I think the Platinum, from all the stuff I've read, let their B team on this. I guess the A team was busy with Bayonetta, so they kind of let the new hires in on this, and it shows.
Played the demo on it.
Mm-hmm.
Barely was able to finish that demo.
Mm-hmm.
My God, the combat in the game, it's nothing like any of their other games. It's not snappy. It's not responsive. It's not good. I am so freaking disappointed.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah. I mean, they got the actors.
Yeah.
The voice actors from the show.
Yeah.
They're all there.
Mm-hmm.
It just does not play well at all.
Yeah.
And that demo, if you don't die like 30 or 40 times in a row at the end, yeah, it's really short.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah, don't bother with that game because it's really not good, which is really unfortunate.
Mm-hmm.
Makes me wonder if they had actually had a little more time, what could they have done with it?
Mm-hmm.
So thanks Activision for rushing that one out. Oh, then I was playing the demo for Tales from the Borderlands for Xbox Live Arcade.
Hey, I own that too and haven't played it yet.
Which console you own it for?
PS4.
Okay, good, because you definitely don't want the Xbox Live version.
I could have told you that.
Wow. The performance of that game on Xbox 360
Mm-hmm.
is horrible.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, the slowdown, the jitter, the freezing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, it's so bad. I could not take it. I played through the demo and said, yeah, this is a really good demo. And then promptly said, I'm going to get this on PC. Screw you, Xbox. It's an adventure game in the vein of Walking Dead and Wolf Among Us. So, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
It was extremely funny. Demo lets you play through the opening, I want to say. Because it seems like the opening, at least.
Yeah.
Where you're introduced to the main character that you're going to play as, or at least one of the main characters. And then they get into a really bad situation. And that's about where the demo ends, but it's a pretty decent sized demo.
Yeah.
Yeah, not really much else to say. It's an adventure game based on all the other adventure games Telltale has put out. It seemed pretty fun. I'll buy it on PC when it's on sale.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just not currently in super rush to go get it. Then I was also playing the Xbox Live Arcade version of Costume Quest 2.
Hey, another game I own that I haven't played yet.
In which I was trick-or-treating all through basically the last week of last month in January. So I was finally able to tear myself away from another game that I was playing. And I played through that entire game in a week. It's pretty much exactly what Costume Quest 1 was, only now you're time traveling.
Okay.
And it actually does a pretty good job of wrapping up how the time travel works.
Okay.
And how it affects everything else. It's actually pretty fun.
Okay, sure.
It doesn't do ridiculous, like, oh, don't look over here at all this other stuff that's going on kind of thing. It's pretty fun. Just unfortunately, I could not, for the life of me, get the timing down on those time-based attacks for the combat. Because the combat is turn-based, but as you go to attack one of your opponents, you can hit the button at just the right time and inflict a much higher damage amount than you would normally.
Okay.
And then you'll eventually learn things like a follow-up attack, which lets you do another little nudge of damage, which, if you time it right, you can do a decent amount of damage. And sometimes you can two-shot people. That's not as common unless you're super high level, but it's possible. I want to say the battle mechanic of countering was in the last game as well, but it has been too long since I played that game.
Or Costume Quest 1?
Yeah, I want to say you could counterattack if you blocked it just the right time.
Yes.
Okay, so that's also in the game as well. Yeah. It's just a fairly late add-on mechanic that they give you for whatever reason. You have to, I think, be like, I want to say level 6 or 7. And by that time, you've gone through a decent chunk of the game.
Right.
So it's kind of odd that they added in so late.
I don't remember when they did it in the first one. It's been so long since I played the first.
Yeah, like I said, don't remember. Yeah. It's been too long. But yeah, I got every single one of the achievements in the game. 100%. It's not super hard to do.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to be super attentive to complete all the quests.
Yeah.
And thankfully, the game actually automatically saves just before you go and hit the final battle.
Okay.
So if you want, you could just automatically start up and go back out of the building that you're in and go do the last couple things you needed to do, which is what I had to do because I was like, wait, I'm missing some things.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so there's like 2 or 3 things that aren't quests that you can do that are kind of hidden.
Right.
But they're kind of not that hidden if you know what you're doing.
Right.
If you're using your costume abilities correctly, it is super easy to do these.
Okay.
So don't forget your costume abilities.
Yeah.
One of them is extremely important.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's a fun game. It's just as fun as the first game. I just, for the life of me, could not get the timing down for the attacks and the counterattacks. I mean, less so the counterattacks because, they could choose to attack somebody who wasn't countering.
Right.
It's just, yeah, could not get the timing for the attacks down to always be getting the perfect amount of damage on them. So I got a lot of nice and not amazings. So, unfortunate, but, Alright, so let's start up with the new stuff. We'll start off with the final new game that I was playing only yesterday and started up Dragon Age Inquisition on 360.
Yay! Woohoo!
I'm not far in at all at this point. I haven't even hit the hinterlands.
Okay, yeah, you've basically probably done the tutorial and got to...
Basically, yeah.
And got to Haven.
I'm... Whatever the opening place is,
Haven.
I don't even know what it was called.
Haven, yes.
Yeah. I went in and sent some people on some missions on the board, and that's where I had to stop, because I was like, it's 11 at night. I should probably go eat.
Okay.
I hadn't eaten dinner at that point. I'm like, I'm hungry. I should really stop.
Okay, I sent you another code, by the way, before we got... I sent you a picture on Facebook.
Okay.
Another deluxe code.
All right, I'll try that out, see what happens. Yeah, I imported my Dragon Age 2 decisions.
Yes, Dragon Age
from the keep.
Yes, excellent.
Yeah, as Varric was going over the recap, I'm like, okay, yeah, I kind of remember this now. Yeah, okay, I remember doing this. I remember doing that. I remember doing that too. I was like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, I killed that guy. Yeah, all right, yeah. So yeah, and then it all started coming back to me. I was like, yeah, this story was alright.
Yeah.
Not so much the combat, but yeah, the story was good.
repeated environments. Yeah.
Well, I just did not enjoy that combat at all.
It was okay.
It did not click with me at all. That's kind of the same fear I have right now. Even though I'm not far in, I decided to go with a rogue. I'm going to go dual wield rogue for this character as opposed to the warrior, which I played last time.
Mm-hmm.
Warrior was a mistake last time. This time, I'm having a little more fun with the rogue, but man, oh man, my party mates die way too quick.
What are you playing it on?
Normal. Yeah, I know. I don't know. I'm concerned. That's kind of all I got so far. I didn't play far.
Well, I mean that the boss at the end of the tutorial essentially is fairly difficult.
Yeah, he was the one who was screwing me over.
Well, yeah, that one's a fairly difficult one to do. I got through it on the first try, but...
Oh, no, yeah, I got through it on my first try. It's just all my party members went down.
Yeah.
And if I hadn't had this amulet that gave me an extra 50 health, I would have died too. Because I didn't realize I was that low on health.
Right.
So I was like, I'm just gonna put the HUD on permanently because I need to know how much health I have from now on for every single character.
Yeah.
So yeah, no more dynamic HUD.
Yeah, you need to. You also need to kind of direct them a little bit.
I really wasn't feeling the tactical view that much, though. I'm having a lot of technical issues with the 360 version.
Well, I would imagine.
It really doesn't run well. There's a lot of graphical clipping.
Mm-hmm.
My character's arm, as they were chained up at the very beginning, kind of clipped through the bindings. I was like, oh, okay, so apparently you're not chained. Oh, wait, no, you are chained up. Oops.
Yeah.
Graphical glitch.
Yeah, this is a game that needs to be played on PS4, Xbox One, or PC.
Yeah. Although from what you said, Xbox One was not a good version or something.
It's kind of this. I would rank the versions PS4.
I'd rank PC higher, but with a good PC, it's a much.
I would. Well, the thing is that the PC people aren't liking the keyboard controls, and there's been some other things.
But you can't play it with a controller?
You can, but a lot of people on the PC.
There you go.
Well, a lot of people on the PC don't want to do that. And
whatever.
I would probably put it. I guess maybe PC. PC, PS4, Xbox One, 360, PS3.
Okay. Well, maybe I should have gotten a PC version then.
I guess. I mean, it's hard to know. I mean, there's just a lot of BioWare PC fan people that just aren't happy with the PC version because they feel like the game was designed for Xbox One and PS4 and then ported to the PC. This is supposed to be a PC franchise and da-da-da-da-da. And why can we only have eight abilities on our keyboard? Why can we only have 8 abilities active no matter what? Because since
Dragon Age 2, this has not been a PC series. Mm-hmm. Dragon Age 2 proved that. So they're whining about something that's not even relevant anymore.
And I think Origins sold more on 360, and I think it sold more on console than it did on PC.
I don't know.
I have to double check that. If it didn't outsell it, they were pretty close. Pretty much a 50-50 split.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so yeah, like I said, I haven't gotten very far. I'm like a level 3. I'm not far at all. I just equipped myself with poison daggers, so that way I can start poisoning people when I get into combat.
Yeah, I just think the problem is you're playing the 360 version. You're not going to get the smoothness that you would with like an Xbox One or a PC.
I mean, it runs well enough. It's just, wow, those graphics. they come and go whenever they want.
Yeah, so you don't really have that problem on the others.
They'll just, well, we didn't have enough time to load this texture in. Okay, let's just keep going. It's this weird muddy texture that just unrolled in front of me. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, other than the weird pop-in and lack of pop-in at times, it doesn't perform too bad.
Right.
It's just really odd at times to just have this really weird dichotomy of what is supposed to be looking like decent graphics. It just doesn't come close because the texture didn't come in.
Yeah.
But yeah. So like I said, I'm starting out barely. If I was to say buy it on a different system like PC, would I be able to import my save through the Dragon Age Keep?
Your world state, yes. Your world state, yes. That not what you've played. You would have to start over what you've played.
So it would give me my character, though.
Well, no, the world state, the decisions you made,
right,
all that stuff, the things that you said. Okay, this is my world state that I've saved. You could start over. You would have to make your character again and start over the tutorial what you played. But you could import all those decisions from Dragon Age 2 and Origins. That file works on any platform.
Okay.
But you would have to remake your character and start the game over.
No, I guess I'll suffer through the graphics and minor problems.
Okay.
It's not so bad that I can't play it. It's just very noticeable.
Right.
Unlike Tales from the Borderlands, which was really affecting my enjoyment of that game.
Right, yeah.
Or the demo, at least.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, I'm glad to leave plus my PS3 died. I'm ready to leave.
Well, yeah.
I'm ready to leave Telltale behind on the last gen, and Telltale on current gen. Let's go.
Yeah. I'll stick with Telltale on PC, because I so far have not had problems.
Okay.
So. Alright, and that brings us to the final thing that I've been playing.
Okay.
I've been playing Destiny.
I
have 3 characters.
Oh, no.
All of them are level 20.
Oh my gosh.
One of them is level 30. One of them is level 26, light levels. And the other one is level 26 as well.
Oh no, you fell down the rabbit hole.
I can't stop.
No.
I can't stop.
Oh, you fell down the rabbit hole.
It's the only thing I can think of.
Oh my god.
I can't stop. Someone help me. I can't stop. I was lucky to be able to play Costume Quest last week.
Oh my god.
I was able to tear myself away from Destiny for a couple hours each day and play through Costume Quest a little bit at a time.
Oh my gosh, no. No.
And the thing that makes it worse is I'm playing it on an Xbox One.
Say what?
I know, I have an Xbox One.
Yay!
And there's a funny story that goes along with that.
Okay.
See, this story starts all the way back on my birthday, on the 26th of November.
Okay.
So, for my birthday, I received Shadow of Mordor for the Xbox One.
Ah!
And I'm like, oh, well, I can't exactly play this right now, but yeah, sure, I was going to buy the Xbox One version of it anyway.
Yes, because the 360 version is crap. Like,
why would you ever want anything other than that Nemesis system? I don't know. Yeah. So it's like, yeah, sure.
That's a game that should have pulled a Dying Light and just canceled the old gen versions.
I don't know what they were thinking. I really don't. But hey, obviously they wanted to sell more, so
yeah.
No clue how it works still.
Yeah.
I'm still interested in morbid curiosity about how that works on those systems. I have to go find out one of these days.
Mm-hmm.
Because of that, apparently the seeds were planted that on Christmas Day, I was given an Xbox One as my Christmas gift.
Yay! So you got one good game with it and one kind of terrible one.
Yeah, it was the Assassin's Creed Black Flag Unity combo version.
Right, which is the one that was sold at Christmas. That's pretty much it.
Well, it was the only one left.
Yeah.
I was super hyped to go get the white, cool Sunset Overdrive version, but that went out of print real quick.
Yeah, like 1 week.
Well, I heard stories and saw some very briefly, like the week after that.
Well, okay, maybe.
And then they were gone.
Yeah. And Call of Duty wasn't that far behind it.
Yeah, unfortunate. But I wasn't really looking for that one because it was another $50 more at the time. Mm-hmm. So I was like, no.
Right.
So yeah, I put in the code for Black Flag and didn't do anything with Unity because screw that game.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do with Unity yet.
You probably try to trade it or sell it to somebody or something.
Yeah, maybe. I'll have to ask, see if anybody in the ragtags wants it.
Yeah.
For like $10 or something.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It took a long time to install Black Flag because that was like a couple, like 30 or 40 gigs or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Welcome to the world of the current gen.
Yeah, it took like an entire day.
Yeah.
Downloading.
And you're not on crappy internet like me.
No, but wow, for some strange reason, my Xbox One does not play well with my router. It goes really unhappy with my router at times.
Well, aren't you on some old thing that, because it worked with the original Xbox wireless?
No, thankfully now.
Okay.
And no, I'm not on that one anymore.
Okay.
We're on the loaner one that you get with your Verizon cable.
Oh.
Or Verizon internet. Fios internet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it for some reason it just does not like play nice. I think the signal is just a smidge weaker in the spot I have the Xbox One because god damn that thing is massive.
Yeah. Are you old enough to remember? I mean, obviously you're old.
It's bigger than a VCR that I owned previously.
I'm sorry if this sounds trollish.
It's bigger than that. It's ridiculous. I don't understand why it's so big.
It's still well, because they put the... No, wait, it doesn't... Yeah, not only is it that damn big, it doesn't have internal power.
No, it doesn't,
It still has a big old damn power brick, whereas the PS4 is like, it's the same... The PS4 is the same power cord as the PS1, the PS2, and the PS3 Slim.
Yeah.
It's the same damn cord. The internal power, like... Oh, but that thing's got plenty of fans on it. It's covered in fans.
Oh, it's... The Xbox One has a very, very large fan in it.
Multiple. It's like, there's a few inches here. Yep. Put a damn fan there. There's a few inches here. Put a damn fan there.
I understand their concern and their reasoning for doing so. I understand it completely. That is a good thing to do. You definitely want a lot of cooling on your systems.
Chinese solder!
I'm just saying, it's a little bit big.
Yes.
It didn't even fit where I needed to put it.
I was wondering.
I have it sitting, like, well behind the TV, well behind my TV stand, well behind my 360. It's kind of hiding at this point because it's so big.
That's so massive.
I need to get like a new TV stand or something because there's no other place to put it in my room.
It's so big.
It's so stupidly big. I don't get it. I really don't. It doesn't make any sense. But yeah, after the initial Lizard Squad troubles on Christmas Day,
Sorry, I mean, I should...
Made it incredibly hard to just even log in to download my profile to the system.
Yeah, see, some of us were in the land
It just took forever. It took overnight letting the thing download.
Yeah.
Before I even had Assassin's Creed installed. Then I got a bunch of the free stuff that was still free at that point. So I got Volgar the Viking for free.
Right.
And I got the I guess demo for Killer Instinct, which I still haven't tried.
Yeah.
That's
free regardless, and then you pay.
Yeah, the demo,
Yeah, and then you pay to unlock.
Then you pay for the whole season stuff.
Yeah.
Which
you can buy the season 1 disc plus the TJ combo download for $20 or less. That's a physical retail item. So
I think it's about that cheap as well.
Digitally. Okay. I wasn't for sure anymore.
I know the season 2 is pretty cheap.
Yeah.
I want to say it's also 20.
Okay.
But I still haven't touched it. If I enjoy it, I might dish out for that.
Right.
Because I like supporting Guardian Galaxy.
Right.
What else did I do with that? I downloaded a couple other things that were really interesting and cool. I now own the Xbox One version of Titanfall because that was on sale this past week.
Oh.
Finally.
Okay.
So now I own the 360 version and the Xbox One version. So now, if I actually wanted to, I could go play with everyone else. Then I also downloaded, because it was on sale for half price, Sunset Overdrive.
Yeah.
So that's waiting for me as well.
Okay.
If I wasn't playing so much goddamn Destiny.
Now, I'm a bad person. Well, I don't own an Xbox One, but I forgot to redeem it. Did you at least redeem D4?
No, I wasn't really that interested in it.
Oh.
As ridiculous as that game looks, I just really wasn't looking.
I just forgot, and I didn't go to the site. I mean, I don't own an Xbox One, but I still should have done. Okay, you need to go get iDark then. That came out today. Yes.
No, as soon as that was live for free, I was like, it draws a red box? Hell yes, thank you.
So how's that interface?
Why not? Man, that is some Kinect-ass interface.
The few times I've had to mess with it, I'm just like, why can't this be like the 360? Man. You had it, right?
It was good on 360, man. It was not the best, but damn, it worked.
Yeah.
It just worked. I still have trouble finding stuff in the store because of the way it's laid out.
Yeah, you talk about something that needs a redesign. We need the new Xbox experience for Xbox One.
Which hopefully will be coming soon-ish when they do the Xbox or Windows 10 overhaul.
Yeah, one would
hope. Because, man, it needs to be much better with the controller.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, yeah, I don't know that I like snapping. It's kind of annoying.
Mm-hmm.
And yet it's the only way to use certain things. Which is really annoying.
Mm-hmm.
So that's also why I haven't messed around with Twitch streaming. Or game DVR, because why would I want those things snapped to the side?
Right.
I want full screen. I mean, I have 720p coming out of that thing, pumping crazy. I'm gonna enjoy the damn thing. Because damn, Destiny looks good.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it looks so good.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they did such a good job with the graphics. Oh, I can't stop. I just can't stop. That's all I play when I boot that thing up.
No, Brad, no.
And I still haven't done the raids.
Oh.
I haven't done the raid. I haven't done the weekly heroics. I haven't done the weekly nightfalls.
I was afraid of this.
I still want to do those.
Oh, This is gonna be Puzzle Quest and Fallout and Skyrim, but worse.
There's so much left to do. I have three exotic bounties I need to finish.
So
I can get exotic weapons.
No.
I need those exotic weapons. They're amazing.
Oh, no.
Oh, I need those weapons. So good. I need bad juju. Oh, bad juju. I need you, bad juju.
No.
It's so good. I mean, I have super good advice, and that's an exotic machine gun, but damn. I need a good exotic primary. Oh, it would be so nice. And I'm almost level 31. Light level. I'm so close. I'm super close. If I could just get a couple more ascendant shards, I could level up again. I'm so close.
I am so glad that we did this deliberation a month ago.
Oh, no. I was playing it then. But I know the symptoms, and I can't do it. I can't put that on the list. It was just too much. It's like crack. I'm like I said, I'm finally starting to just barely tear myself away and play Dragon Age, and was playing Costume Quest 2. If it wasn't for the need to do something else for a little bit, I probably wouldn't have played even anything at all other than Destiny for the past month. It's so bad. And I have to wait till the weekend to get Xur, the special items vendor.
Yeah.
And god damn it, now everything requires the Dark Below expansion that he sells. And I'm getting so close to being tempted to buy the damn expansion. I don't want to, but I'm getting so tempted. Oh, it's so tempting. Oh, I don't want to, but it's so tempting. Because I want to be able to do all that stuff. I need to be able to do all the weekly heroics and the weekly nightfalls.
No, Brad, no. You listen to yourself.
I need to finish those bounties so they get out of my bounty slots.
Oh, God.
I need to get them out of the bounty slots.
Lost cause.
I will say one thing.
Mm-hmm.
The Crucible is horrible. It is terrible. The connections to the games sometimes are just insanely bad.
Mm-hmm.
People will be skipping across my screen. It's that bad.
Yeah.
It's just, ugh. And there has to be a host advantage because some of these people are doing some things that you should not be able to do in reaction speed. It's just, really don't enjoy the Crucible. But I suffer through it for some of the easy ones. The easy bounties that you could do super quick, I do with them just because they're super quick. And because I need my Crucible rank to go up so I could buy stuff.
Alright, well, how about we talk about games that actually got into the Game of the Year awards?
I mean, if you don't want me to talk about the controller, sure.
Well, no. Oh, no.
I mean, we need to hurry this along because it's been going on too long.
Yeah.
So I'll save the controller for next episode. We'll talk about it before we do the news or something.
Okay.
Alright, so this is our Game Awards for last year. All the stuff that came out in between January 1st and
December 18th, 20th, whenever Guilty Gear was.
Something like that. Yeah, I don't remember exactly.
Yeah.
So actually, it's December, whatever, until
Christmas. Then. We'll say Christmas, sure.
So from Christmas to Christmas.
Yeah.
All right, that works. Because none of the stuff that came out like the last week of December was stuff we were able to look at that point.
Right.
So, yeah, we have our lists compiled up. We have the nominees all assembled and ready to go for basically everything except our Game of the Year, which is the only thing we needed to deliberate about.
Yeah, so we'll go through here. Best RPG or strategy game. The nominees were South Park: The Stick of Truth, Dragon Age Inquisition, Bravely Default, Persona Q, Shadow of the Labyrinth, Divinity Original Sin, and Diablo III Ultimate Evil Edition. I chose, of course, Dragon Age Inquisition.
And I kind of had to go with my boys over at Blizzard. Give them the props they deserve for creating the ultimate console version of Diablo III.
Okay.
So, Ultimate Evil Edition. It's so good.
Yep.
It makes me wish that they had put the roll mechanic into the PC version.
Oh yeah, I don't know how you're playing that game without the roll.
It's still really fun. It's still really fun.
All right, move.
Kind of like some of these racing games.
Yeah.
Were best racing game.
Yeah, the nominees were Forza Horizon 2, Drive Club, Grid Autosport, Mario Kart 8, The Crew, and Trials Fusion. And I chose Forza Horizon 2.
And I had to go with my boys over at Mario Kart 8.
Yep.
Nintendo. They hit it out of the park when they do the Mario Karts. Maybe not 100% with the balancing of the higher difficulty levels, but, it's really fun.
And that playground or whatever the name of that studio is that's done the two Horizon games, they knock it out of the park on the Horizon games to me. I mean, they get just enough Forza in there, but with the open world and the soundtrack and the graphics and adding in the real-time weather on the Xbox One version now, the Horizon is just such a great series. Sub-series of Forza.
Yeah.
Those two games are just so good.
If Trials Fusion had the trick system be good, I might have considered giving it to Trials Fusion.
I mean, if it hadn't been Forza, I would have done Mario Kart. The game gets a couple points knocked off for me for how horrible they turned battle mode. They just totally screwed the pooch on battle mode. They screwed it up so bad they should have just cut it. I mean,
yeah, probably, because I never played battle mode.
Well, I grew up on the Super Nintendo version of battle mode, so I know battle mode, and the N64 one was pretty good too, but they've just ruined it to the point of they shouldn't just even had it in there. I mean, the whole point of battle mode is not to do it on the normal tracks. It's to do it on specially designed arenas.
Yeah, so you can actually go in circles, but around somebody in a circle.
Yeah.
As opposed to, let's race, and then also do this battle.
Yeah.
Which, no, yeah. That's not fun.
No.
So, yeah. And that brings us to the best sports game of last year.
Yeah, our nominees were MLB The Show 14, Madden NFL 15, FIFA 15, NBA 2K15, The Golf Club, and Super Mega Baseball. And I kind of went where Mutt has taken me, and I chose for the first time ever, and just, I mean, congrats, we'll get into it in the NPD's next episode, but EA had a bit of a resurgence this year with Madden NFL 15.
Mutt?
Madden Ultimate Team.
Okay. I was confused. I wasn't too confused, though, when I chose The Golf Club as the sports game of last year for me. Because, damn, the customizing you can do and creative, ridiculous playground tracks or courses that you can make. There's just so much you can do. It's just so crazy.
And with Madden, I mean, people talk about ESPN NFL 2K5, and rightfully so. People forget that Madden NFL 05 was probably the best Madden that had come out since 95. And it seems like once again, 10 years later, they hit it out of the park again. I mean, they just need to do a couple more things with presentation. I mean, why they don't utilize, well, they don't have the ESPN license anymore, I don't think, but why they don't utilize, like, NFL Network personalities. Why don't they have, like, Rich Eisen do a fake radio show in Madden, like they had the one sporting news guy do in Madden 05? That was awesome. And now with now with updates and DLC, you could, put in new conversations. It's not like Madden where you hear all the conversations and, then skip past it. Now you could add in new conversations. But anyway, yeah, I mean, other than some slight presentation things, I mean, Madden, the gameplay-wise, just knocks it out of the park. And it's been 10 years since you can legitimately say Madden was good, and it's good.
Well, here's to the next good game in 10 years.
Yeah. I mean, literally, 95,
when it's 2015 or 2025.
Yeah.
And then they now have the problem of, wait, we can't call it 25 anymore because there was already a 25.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll finally put that 2025 in front of it.
Yeah.
Like they should keep doing anyway. But, maybe that's just me.
Yeah. And maybe now we'll go through the best fighting games.
Oh, maybe.
Yep. Our nominees were Guilty Gear Xrd, Ultra Street Fighter 4, Killer Instinct Season 2, EA Sports UFC, Persona 4 Arena Ultimax, and Super Smash Bros. For Wii U specifically, or kind of for both, but whatever. And I chose...
It's for the Wii U version, because the controls for the 3DS version, they're not there.
Yeah. So my winner was Super Smash Bros. For Wii U.
It was really close. It was really close for me. I had to give it to Ultra Street Fighter 4.
Okay.
If it wasn't for Ultra Street Fighter 4, it's a no-brainer. It's Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
But because Street Fighter's there, and I really enjoy some Street Fighter, just had to go with it.
All right, this is interesting now after your talk on Best Shooter. The nominees were Wolfenstein: The New Order, Far Cry 4, Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, Titanfall, Destiny, and Luftrausers. And
You have no idea how much loading screens I have to sit through in Destiny. It annoys me to no end.
Hey, I played the story of that. I had a level 17 character.
It annoys me to no end.
Oh, how about those wonderful ships that do nothing but are just a loading screen?
Yay, they look lovely, but goddamn, load faster! That's why it wouldn't have won this category. That right there. Because the loading times are so bad.
You know what doesn't have that long a loading times, at least, even on 360, which was your winner.
Was it?
Titanfall.
Oh, I thought you were talking about... Okay, yeah, no. Titanfall, really snappy. It's a really snappy game, no matter what console you're on. I thought you were referring to your game.
No.
I thought you were referring to Far Cry 4. I was like,
no.
Yeah, the load times aren't that bad initially.
No. I mean, Wolfenstein...
It's good. It just doesn't quite...
if it hadn't, If
it was any other year, it could have been a contender.
Well, for me, the oh, well, the first hour is kind of but once you get past that, it's really great. And I'm almost past the part, and then the game crashes and save corrupted, and I have to restart.
Yeah.
I haven't touched it since.
It's a good, interesting game, but just the shooting just feels so smooth in Titanfall.
Yeah.
It's so smooth. It plays so smooth. The movement is super intuitive. Oh, it's just so good. And giant robots.
Well, minus the giant robot part, we'll get to Best Action Adventure. The nominees were Child of Light, Middle-earth: Shadow of Mordor, Bayonetta 2, Shovel Knight, Sunset Overdrive, and Valiant Hearts. And in our first unanimous decision, we both chose Bayonetta 2.
Yeah, it just did over-the-top insane just the right amount to make me go, yes, please, please keep doing more.
The combat, the smoothness of it.
And after asking said thing, it delivers.
Yep.
It delivers with even more ridiculousness. Maybe just barely if I had played a Sunset Overdrive, I might have changed my opinion. But from all the stuff that I've heard, probably not, because the first couple hours a little rough.
Yeah.
So
Middle-earth is great until the ending, and then it falls apart.
Yeah.
All right. So next, we have Best Co-op Local Multiplayer, and the nominees were Diablo III Ultimate Evil Edition, Lara Croft and the Temple of Osiris, Jackbox Collection, Super Smash Bros. For Wii U, Nidhogg, and Lethal League.
Which, by the way, I really need to go get Lara Croft Temple of Osiris now that I actually have a console that it's actually on.
Yep.
It's a good game.
Digital only.
Really
there was
good.
no retail release for that on Xbox One.
Yeah. I really need to make sure I go get it.
All right. And the winner, another unanimous decision for us, was the Jackbox Collection.
It's a really good compilation and collection.
Yep.
I'm super happy I bought it when it was on sale.
Oh, yeah. It's not been on sale yet at all on PlayStation. Kind of weird.
Yeah. Well, they had it on sale like a week or two ago.
Yeah.
I'm super happy I bought that because I know I'm going to enjoy that so much. Now I just have to be willing to lug that to Xbox One somewhere or invite people over.
Yep. All right, that gets us to Best HD Port Remake, a new category for us, replacing Best DLC, which, I mean, really, there was only one good nominee last year, and that was Last of Us Left Behind.
I could have sworn we did something similar previously, didn't we?
We did. I mean, we did like Best Licensed Game way long time ago.
Yeah, but I could have sworn we did HD port or remake, something like that.
No, we did last. Yes, we did last year. We did it in 2013 as well. My bad.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought. I thought we did them before.
We did 2013 as well. My bad.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, but we didn't do Best DLC because there was only one good nominee.
I mean, yeah, unfortunately,
Yeah.
but
It was not a good year for DLC. But it was a good year for HD ports and remakes, as our nominees were Metro...
yeah, as every one of the companies that's putting them out is telling everybody. It's like, hey, cheap game we put out really quick. Let's do it.
Yep. Our nominees were Metro Redux, The Last of Us Remastered, Tales of Symphonia Chronicles, Pokemon Alpha Sapphire Omega Ruby, Final Fantasy X 10-2 HD Remaster, and Grand Theft Auto 5.
I had to go with Last of Us Remastered.
Yep, that's a pretty damn good one.
It's such a good game. I'm so unhappy I still can't play it yet.
Yep, you can't. Not yet.
Unless I get a PS3.
Yep.
And then somehow find room in my dwindling size of locations just to put that somewhere.
And I chose one that is available to you, and I chose Metro Redux.
Yeah, it's available on multiple things for me.
Yeah, I mean, just the amount of, Last of Us Remastered is great. But it's basically just all the DLC and an up-res, but it's a great game, and it's now available for more people. But Metro Redux, not only just the graphics, but all the gameplay tweaks and changes they made. They did more than even Grand Theft Auto 5 did with the first-person mode. They changed. You have different options for basically how hard you want the game to be, how much ammo there is, and just all the tweaks and stuff they did to that game. Just awesome, and it's easily the most overlooked retail game on PS4 and Xbox One. Not even close.
Yeah. I'll definitely agree with that.
All right, and next up we had the best graphics art design. And our nominees were Destiny, Shovel Knight, Guilty Gear Xrd, The Banner Saga, The Wolf Among Us, and Jazzpunk. And I went with the indie retro darling of Shovel Knight.
It's a really good choice.
Yep.
It's a really good choice. I had to go with the comedy stylings of Jazzpunk. It just does that irreverent style so well. It just does so much with so little.
Mm-hmm.
It's so funny and so ridiculous and so awesome. More people need to play that. Same thing with Shovel Knight.
Yeah. Oh, and then now people will get that. Sony people will get that option soon.
Yeah.
All right, and another award is Best Audio Design, and our nominees were Destiny, Dragon Age Inquisition, Shovel Knight, Outlast, Alien Isolation, and Luftrausers. And not too much of a guess as to what I picked. Dragon Age Inquisition.
It's, from what I've experienced so far, that's a very good choice, though.
Yep.
It's the voice acting's pretty damn good.
Some great music.
Yeah, some of that music is pretty good too.
Yep.
But I had to go with my ears on this one.
Mm-hmm.
And just the most entrancing music that I've heard came out of Luftrausers.
Okay.
Oh, it's just making me want to go listen to that music right now. Just thinking about it. Oh, it just makes me so pumped. Oh, so good. And that pumps us over to our downloadable exclusive game.
Yep. The nominees were Transistor, The Banner Saga, Divinity Original Sin, Hearthstone Heroes of Warcraft, Valiant Hearts The Great War, and The Fall Episode 1. And another one that we were unanimous on, we both chose Hearthstone Heroes of Warcraft.
And Blizzard had a banner year. Banner year. Two amazing things.
Yep.
It's just, yeah. I never thought that we would see two amazing games come out of Blizzard in the same year. But apparently they were able to.
And neither one was World of Warcraft. Granted, Hearthstone is a
it's
spin-off. Yeah.
Themed, but not really. You don't need to know anything about World of Warcraft to care about it.
Right.
As long as you like card games, you will still love this game.
Yeah. And that gets us to our system-specific Game of the Year awards. Starting off with PC, the nominees were The Banner Saga, Divinity Original Sin, Hearthstone, Dragon Age Inquisition, The Fall Episode 1, and Jazzpunk. And in somewhat of a surprise, the nominee that I chose was Divinity Original Sin.
Now, why did you say that's surprising?
Well, because I've done Dragon Age in every other category we had Dragon Age in.
Oh, yeah.
This is the first time I didn't pick
Sorry.
Dragon Age.
Just right over my head.
Yeah.
Didn't even think about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had to go with Hearthstone.
Yep.
It's super good. It may be really good on tablets and I don't know about mobile because
Well, it's
I
on.
don't know
No,
why
it's not on. It's only tablets.
it's only on tablets
So it's
anyway.
only
So yeah, all right.
tablets,
So
yeah.
yeah, it's still pretty good on tablets.
Yep.
I don't know that it will ever come to consoles. So those are the only two locations you will be able to find those.
Yeah.
On iOS, Android tablets, or PC.
Yeah.
And it's free to play,
Yeah.
so you can just try it.
Yeah.
It's an amazing game.
Yeah, I'm just way behind on it. I'll never catch up. So.
You can easily catch up. Trust me. Trust me. If you just take a day or two and just swap out the gold bounties that you can't do, you'll be fine. Just swap it out, and then the next day, if it's still not something you can do, swap it out again. Next day, swap it out again if it's still not something you can do. Just keep switching it out till it's something you can do.
All right.
Just that simple.
Well, something else that ended up being simple, because it was unanimous, was our Wii U Game of the Year award, and the nominees were Mario Kart 8, Super Smash Bros., Bayonetta 2, Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, Shovel Knight, and Captain Toad. And our unanimous nominee once again winner, I should say, was Bayonetta 2.
If it hadn't been for Bayonetta, it would have to have gone to Smash Brothers.
Probably would have gone Shovel Knight.
Okay.
Because that's why I own it on Wii U. I don't own it on 3DS,
right.
But I probably would have went Shovel Knight. But Smash Brothers is right up there, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It was great.
Well, I mean, for me, it would have had to been Smash Brothers.
Great year for the Wii U. Because, I mean...
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, we didn't...
It proved that the Wii U is a system you want to own now.
Yeah. I mean, the 7th game on here was Hyrule Warriors. It didn't get nominated. I mean, that's a...
Yeah.
That's a pretty damn good lineup of 7 games. Right there.
Or an amazing lineup of 6.
Yeah.
That you should play if, you're at least interested in Donkey Kong, because I just don't really care about Donkey Kong.
Yeah, that's fine.
I don't know. I can't seem to care about Donkey Kong stuff. Yeah.
All right.
It's kind of why I've never played King of Swing. I want to say it was the game, or Donkey Kong Jungle Beat.
Well, there's Jungle Beat that had the drum.
Yeah, I know there's Jungle Beat, and I think there was King of Swing, which it's Donkey Kong. I can't seem to care about Donkey Kong that much.
That's fine. Well, let's get the other Nintendo platform out of the way. 3DS Game of the Year. Nominees were Shovel Knight, Bravely Default, Pokemon Alpha Sapphire Omega Ruby, Persona Q, Kirby Triple Deluxe, and Professor Layton vs. Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney. And I chose Shovel Knight.
And you know what? It's a really good game. It has to be a Game of the Year on something.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I just couldn't bring myself to give it Game of the Year on anything. I had to give it to Persona Q.
And as more that I've played of it now, that one's a pretty good one too. I mean, it is the easiest Etrian Odyssey game that will ever come out.
It's also really, really good looking.
Oh, the music in that is so good.
Music too? Yeah.
Yes.
It's just such a great package.
I wish this game was on Vita so they would have more room for the voice acting, because when they do have voice acting in there, it's great.
Well, it has the same problem as the Persona 4 on PS2.
Yeah. They're limited on space. It
just doesn't have that much room for the voice acting.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, moving on to the other handheld, Vita Game of the Year. Our nominees were Danganronpa, Danganronpa 1, Conception 2, Freedom Wars, Rogue Legacy, Spelunky, Tales of Hard R, and I chose Freedom Wars.
Which is a very good choice.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
What?
I mean, it's just, I mean, granted, it needs English voice, but other than that, that's about the only complaint I have with it. I mean, if you want a Monster Hunter style game on Vita, this is your option.
And it's even a little more approachable than Monster Hunter.
Yeah. I guess, yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Because it's not forcing you to go online.
Right, correct.
So I had to go with Rogue Legacy because, damn, being able to take Rogue Legacy on the go.
Yeah, and hey, guess
so
what?
Good.
Guess what? That's the other free game this month for PlayStation. My patience is rewarded on that one.
Well, there you go. Okay,
Yes.
go ahead and buy that game or download it right away.
Yes. My patience is rewarded. Rogue Legacy is the other PlayStation Plus game of February for PS4 and Vita.
Because that's a roguelike game you'll definitely want to play.
Yeah. Been waiting for a sale for that too, and now I got it.
Alrighty.
And now that moves us to Sony Console Game of the Year.
Indeed.
Nominees were Infamous Second Son, Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor, Dragon Age Inquisition, Far Cry 4, Outlast, and South Park Stick of Truth. I think we know what my choice was, and Steven's was...
Well, maybe.
I chose Dragon Age Inquisition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I had a feeling you were going to go with that because you played it on
Yes,
Sony console.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
I had to go with South Park The Stick of Truth.
That's a great game. That's in my top 3.
It deserved a Game of the Year nod on something. And I'm like, this is the only thing I can give it the nod on.
Yeah, I gave him some love here in a bit. Maybe for Microsoft Console Game of the Year, our nominees were Titanfall, South Park Stick of Truth, Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, Far Cry 4, Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor, and Sunset Overdrive. And I chose South Park Stick of Truth.
And I had to go with Titanfall because Titanfall is so good. Oh, giant robots. Gotta love them. Got to love giant robots. I for one, welcome my giant robot mechanical suits.
And that gets us to the overall Game of the Year, where we have 6 nominees of South Park Stick of Truth, Shovel Knight, Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor, Dragon Age Inquisition, Bayonetta 2, and Far Cry 4. Those nominees are set in stone. That is the Checkmate Arcade Top 6 of 2014.
Yep, and each one of those deserves your dollars.
Yes.
Now the question becomes, can you convince me otherwise that Dragon Age should not win?
Okay.
Convince me it deserves it.
Convince you?
More than any of the others.
Okay.
Because I'm still not feeling the combat.
The combat, the part of the problem is I don't know how to describe the rogue combat because mine is all based around...
Ranged character?
No, mage and warrior, because...
Okay.
Because the mages will freeze stuff, and then I bash it in, and then there's damage.
Well, the rogue can capitalize on that too.
Yes. So basically, you need to set up. You've got to get somebody. I mean, I use Vivian, and she's kind of the ice specialist. I mean, so basically, you have her freeze stuff, and then you're able to shatter with shield bash, or you have abilities as well as the rogue. So that combo system really works, and the damage stacks. And as a rogue, you're going to have all these different abilities to go into stealth and sneak around enemies and backstab. I mean, all of these combos actually work, and the multipliers on the damage.
And I'll be able to poison them now that I actually have
Yes,
the ability.
you can be able to poison them and do consistent damage that way. And, and that's the rogue ability, is to either... Everybody in that game has an ability to mitigate damage, and that's why there's a change with the healing. So on the warrior, you have different taunts, and shield blocks that will build up your armor that gives you that protection before your health is hit. They have to go through your armor. On the rogue, you have stealth and different things to where you just don't get hit. And then the mage has barrier, and the mage can give barrier to everybody that is in the spell radius once it is cast. And there are abilities in the spirit tree and the Knight Enchanter tree that slow down the deterioration rate of the barrier.
Right.
So, I mean, the combat, the depth is there.
Well, when I get to the point where I have a mage that has more of those abilities, sure.
Well, every mage, when you get them, even if they're not going to specialize in the spirit tree, because basically Solus starts off with the spirit tree, and I keep him in that way because thematically he's that way. Dorian is best as a fire mage. Vivian is best at the beginning as an ice mage, and then once you get to the second half of the game, she gets Knight Enchanter, and you kind of mix her between Knight Enchanter and ice. Dorian gets a bunch of Necromancer stuff, which is where haste is, and Solus gets Rift Mage because, of course, that makes sense. I mean, the abilities, the specializations unlock once you get to the second half of the game. You have to choose one based on your class, and you'll have to do a quest and find things and do certain things to unlock your specialization, whereas all your party members will have a set one.
Okay.
So it just gives you more abilities and more interactions and be able to set up more combos. And by that time, get you ready to start fighting the dragons.
Yeah, but still, I didn't enjoy the combat in Dragon Age 2.
Well,
this seems like way too much, like a very close approximation of that.
No, it's not, because there's no more teleporting, and there's no more teleporting as any type of melee character. In 2, once you hit attack, I
kind of teleport as a rogue.
Well, that's an ability, though. But what I'm saying is, as a warrior in Dragon Age 2, the minute you would hit attack, you would dash to the nearest character and attack. And this one, you actually have to move there, and there's more in timing. In Dragon Age 2, it was just either tap X repeatedly or hold it. This one actually has timing. You have to use the abilities. As a warrior, you need to have the shield block with R1, and you have to time that with the enemy attacks to block their attack and build up your armor. I mean, there's a lot of timing and depth to the combat that you just have scratched the surface of. But the thing with this game is there's just so much other stuff with all of the politics of the game, of the world, with the mages and the Templars, and I can't even go into a lot of stuff because it's super spoilery. Oh my gosh, at one point you'll have to choose who to align with, and I cannot stress enough that the mage mission, if you choose to align with the mages, is probably the whole best part of that game. That whole mission by itself, oh my gosh, it is so good. It is so good.
Okay, and but good dialogue does not...
Time travel!
It can't
time
be
travel!
the only thing.
Well, no, it's just time travel, but I mean, just how ambitious the game is. I mean, you haven't even gotten any of the worlds. I mean, look at the hinterlands. Like, there's so much to do there that BioWare has to put out hey, you don't have to do everything here. You'll come back here a lot. Just do a few things.
No, that's just bad design, because they could have stopped giving you the quests there for a short time until you go to the other areas.
But it's such a...
That would have been a better design.
It's a vast, vast open world.
Right.
There's so many different, like, you leave the hinterlands and you've got the storm coast, you've got this stormy mountain coast with all this different weather effects. You have swamps. You have this one town that is cursed and is just suffering through torrential flooding that you have to rescue. You have deserts. You have temples. You have forests. You have former forests that have become just destroyed, scorched earth battlegrounds. There's just so much stuff. And then anybody who loved or really enjoyed, what's her name? The thief from Mass Effect 2. Gosh darn it.
Thief.
Yes,
from the DLC, right?
Yes.
Start with a K.
Kasumi.
Yeah.
Kasumi, yes. You see the imprints of that. One of the major story missions about 2/3 of the way through the game is kind of a similar thing where you're at a ball and there's things you have to do there. They're very similar to what you had to do. It will remind you of that so much. I mean, there's just the variety of the quests and the choices mean something, especially now that you've imported the Dragon Age Keep. Your story could vary greatly from what I did. And choices, I mean, there's certain battles.
I think it kind of varied a little bit initially. I don't know.
It does, but I mean, just the minor tweak, the ways people...
I mean, just from what you did, I think, in Dragon Age 2.
Well, right, but I mean, the ways, there will be things in the game that there will be some options closed to you and some that are not, and then there are choices you make through the game that there are things that, depending on what you brought in from Dragon Age, Keep, there are certain later boss battles that you may not even have to fight, depending on the choices that you brought in and make in Inquisition. And just, I mean, you mentioned as well, I mean, the voice acting, the music.
It's really, that's really good.
I mean, the characters...
I don't know that I'm going to enjoy playing the combat as much as any of the other games on the list.
The combat is fine. The combat is just fine. It is not Bayonetta. I will not fight that. I mean, yes, Bayonetta is better combat.
It's also not Middle of Earth.
It's not Middle of Earth. It's not Middle of Earth. And that game ends so crappy. Just no. That game falls so flat in its ending. No. Whereas this one crescendos and it's great, and then it just blows your freaking mind, and you're like, what? I mean, the ending to this game. I mean, this is what Mass Effect 3 should have been. And because they weren't strictly set on a trilogy, maybe, I mean, the way this game builds up and it resolves and you think everything's happy-go-lucky, and then the game is just like, you thought this was over? This ain't over. The revelations that come at the end of the game will just make you go, huh? What?
Yeah, I don't know. It's
I mean, in the combat, I mean, it's rendered well. I mean, it's not as complicated as Bayonetta's, but
it's not as fluid as Middle of Earth. I keep saying Middle of Earth. It's Middle Earth.
The mechanics are just solid. I mean, just the storytelling about all of the different things with power and tolerance and faith, individuality, all the parallels you can see with our real life world, or, I mean, this is what if it wasn't for Telltale's, making a game of Game of Thrones based, loosely around some background characters of that. I mean, this will scratch the same itch as Game of Thrones, in terms of the political intrigue. It's gigantic, and it it succeeds in everything. I mean, look at Assassin's Creed. Assassin's Creed tried to be there's so many games that try to be really, really big, and they either just technically just fall apart this year, or like Destiny, they just kind of like, that's it? I mean, there's just so much to do in this game, and most of it...
I didn't even mention the just wow. That ending. And you don't know how many times I've had to watch that ending because...
You've done it at least three.
No, more than that, actually, because there's been daily heroic challenges, and a couple of them have been the final mission.
Oh.
So I had to sit through the goddamn cutscene, because you can't skip them. You can't skip any of the cutscenes. Oh, they're so long.
Yeah. And
so nice to look at. Once. I don't need to see them a third or fourth or fifth time. Oh, God. I hate Destiny so much, but I can't stop playing it. Ugh.
But, I mean,
how about we just say Bayonetta 2 is the game of the year, because it's so good.
No, because this Bayonetta 2 is great, but it's just kind of
It's just the most beautiful nonsense ever created. Come on, you can't say that it's not.
It's nonsense, but this just blows
It's such good, amazing nonsense.
This blows Bayonetta's 2 story out of the water.
I'm not talking about the story. I'm just talking about the things you do. The things you do in Bayonetta 2 are just so good and so insane.
The things you do here, I mean, the interactions you have with the characters.
Yes, so far I've had a lot of fun with the talking to the characters really quickly as I was running around the camp and learning what everything was.
But there is balance in the combat between 2 and Origins. I mean, there is the tactical you can set up. It allows you to fight the easier enemies, fairly with ease, but when you get to the bosses and the dragons, you actually have to plan stuff out, and you have to pick which party members, and you need to choose their abilities wisely, make sure you're spending them in the right trees, and set everything up, and you have that RPG setup of you have tanks and DPS and your mages and everything. It's just a symphony when you get everything set right.
I mean, maybe that's how it'll play out when I get to that point, but at the moment, it's reminding me far too much of Dragon Age 2 combat.
It's not too.
I mean, I really hope not, because I did not enjoy 2's combat that much. Now, maybe that was because I played through it as a warrior. And the warriors kinda didn't do much. Basically at all. Other than, hey, keep hitting that X button. Okay, your power's recharged. Did it. And I gotta wait for that thing to recharge. Okay, gotta hit it again. Alright, here we go. Alright, we're good? Okay, we're good.
This one, I mean, the shield mechanics, I mean, yes, I mean, you'll have your special abilities, and they do have to, you can't spam them constantly. You do have to wait for them to recharge, but in the meantime, I mean, you do your normal attacks, you block their attacks, and build up your armor, and then you get your mages to do the spells to freeze them or whatever, and then you combo and get more damage. And you draw the enemies away. You have all the taunts to draw them away from the rogues and the mages, and it's just a symphony. When it's going right, it's a symphony, and you're just conducting it, and it's just it's beautiful. It's a different kind of beauty, and it's not of Bayonetta 2's where it's just you and it's just you taking on the world. This one, it's your party of 4 taking on, and you're conducting 4 people versus conducting a solo act. It's conducting a party of 4 in a smooth, just dun, 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 whereas Bayonetta 2 is a rock, and it's just dun, 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 dun.
And it it doesn't let up, and that's something I love about it. But how much did you use the tactical view?
A fairly decent amount, because I mean, not a whole lot, and not as much as others, but a pretty decent amount, because to be able to see the whole battlefield, what's going on. I mean, I didn't use it, as much as I thought I would, but I did a decent amount. But there would be times where I need to pause it. Okay, I want you to do this, and you heal, you drink a potion, and then you do this. And I mean, I used it about as much as I thought I would. I mean, I used it a lot more than what I used anything for in Dragon Age 2. I didn't use it as much as I did in Origins, but you kind of had to in Origins, because your guys were kind of brain dead unless you set specific things up on the console. This one, I mean, they're not quite as bad. The only thing I will say is Varric stands way too close to the enemies, and that gets to be a problem in the dragon fights. But other than that minor quibble, I think everything works really well.
See, I'm so worried that I don't think I'm going to like that combat at all. I'm just so worried. I don't know that I could give it to it. I could give it to almost any of the other games. I could give it to Bayonetta 2 right now, and I would be perfectly happy. I could give it to Far Cry 4 and be perfectly happy. I could give it to Middle-earth.
No.
And be perfectly 100% happy.
No. I'm not going to do it.
I could give it to South Park, and I would still be super happy with that. Would you be willing to give it to South Park? For being the first one to truly capture what the show is about?
I would do it for Bayonetta 2 before I would do it for South Park, but I want it to be Dragon.
Like I said, I'm more than happy to give it to Bayonetta 2.
I want Dragon Age.
All right, here's the deal.
Mm-hmm.
How about next year we'll create another category, and that category will honor the games from last year for this current year. How's that? And then if I really enjoyed it,
okay,
but I think we've done that before anyway.
No, we haven't.
Well,
okay, this is Skyrim.
This
is Skyrim. This is the same thing we have with Skyrim. And did I prove? Was I proven?
Yeah, but I don't know that I was as reluctant on Skyrim.
You were.
Was I?
Yes, you were.
What was the game that I was fighting for? Because I don't remember.
I have to bring it up here. Hold on, because that would have been 2011.
It's just, I'm super worried. Super worried.
Batman. I think you were.
Oh, well, I mean, that wasn't because I was worried about it. That was because Batman was freaking good.
I think you were either Batman or... I'm pretty sure it was Batman.
I mean, that was the first one
I don't have
made
all the
superhero games amazing again.
No, not Arkham. I mean, Arkham Asylum. A couple years before. I mean, this was Arkham City.
Oh, that was City?
Yes.
Oh, well, okay, maybe I wasn't fighting for that one as much.
It was either that or was it Gear? It was either that, Gears 3, or Saints Row. I can't.
I might have been fighting for Gears and Saints.
Yeah. I think you were probably Gears.
I might have been, yeah, I think I was fighting a little more for Gears because Gears 3 was a good ending to the whole trilogy. The entirety of Gears 3 was a really good ending.
Yeah, and I need to go back to that episode and mark on here what we picked, because my thing here doesn't say what we picked.
Yeah,
unlike the other years. But
yeah, I think we only started keeping track of that in the more recent years, like 2012 onward, I think.
Yeah, I need to change that. But I did not steer you wrong then.
All right. Yes, you didn't steer me wrong then. I will have a lot of regrets, though, if I say this is Game of the Year, and it turns out I absolutely do not like the combat. That's my only thing. That's the only thing keeping me from doing it.
And the only thing I'm worried about, you're playing the 360 version. And
right, but that's graphically, I'm not worried about the graphics.
Right.
I'm not worried about any hitches in the engine itself.
And see, you're playing as the rogue, and I don't know anybody that plays the rogue. Pretty much everybody that I know that plays the game on CAG is either a mage or a warrior. I don't know who plays a rogue on there.
Well, do they have rogues in their parties?
Well, yeah, I mean, I have Varric because he's the archer. I have Varric. My party.
Yeah, okay,
is,
but you're not doing the two-handed stuff.
No,
right.
No, I'm not doing the two-handed stuff.
Right.
I mean, that's the one thing. I mean, I've done mage. I'll control, especially on the dragon fights. I control Vivian, and then I have 2 warriors, Vivian and Varric. I mean, that's my party, and it's just I don't know who among the CAGs in the Dragon Age thread do twin dagger rogue. I don't know who has it, so I don't know.
I just thought I'd try something different because I don't normally play the rogue.
Right.
I mean, we've been going for a while.
Yeah.
I'm seriously I would be super happy I'll say Bayonetta 2. I will say it. And then we would both be super happy with Bayonetta 2. You wouldn't be happy because you didn't get Dragon Age, but we would both be in agreement that Bayonetta 2 is awesome.
I tried. The problem is all the notes that I have here. Damn it! Why couldn't you play as mage or warrior so I'd have more experience with the damn combat?
Should I? Well, that's the thing. I just wanted to try something different.
Be a mage.
There's multiple things you can pick at the very beginning. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna give this a shot.
Be a mage.
I can control the mage. That's not the problem. I can pick whoever I want to control.
Damn it. Every single other Game of the Year article that I brought up here to try to...
Everything other than Dragon Age, right?
No, I brought up tons of different stuff on Dragon Age to fight.
Oh, they just talk about the mages?
No, none of them talk about the combat. They just said the combat's good. I can't... I don't have any counters.
All right, so everyone else, even in the Game of the Year discussions, is saying the combat is good.
It's
everyone.
Everybody is saying that the mix of action from Dragon Age 2, as well as offering the ability to proceed strategically similar to Origins. I mean, the Escapist doesn't mention the combat. Polygons. The combat was like I didn't realize that was going to be the thing. Completely rendered, fight scenes appeal to those who lack the patience for more demanding trials, at least on the lower difficulty settings. Upgrade paths tick pleasingly along, missions come and go. Nothing is... I am doing this under the most extreme protest.
Just tell me this. You're sure that the combat is acceptable?
Yes. Yes.
And that if I follow your advice, I will have a good time.
I don't know about the rogue. I don't.
No, I'm just as controlling a mage or a warrior.
Yes.
If I switch to one of them in my party.
Yes, or if you were to say upgrade to an Xbox One version and play it on Xbox One or PC.
Well, then I'd still make my rogue because I still want my character.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying. If you change to the PC or the Xbox One version, all you'd be able to do would be to import that Dragon Age Keep world state again, but you'd have to play the tutorial again.
Right. I would still make my character, though, the same.
Well, I mean, looks and
I might choose
mage.
I might choose the Poison Dagger suitor.
Well, I can't be honest with you, and I have no experience with I did not use the only dual. I mean, I didn't like Sarah, so I never had her in the party, and I never used Cole. Those are kind of the two, dual dagger rogues in Inquisition among your followers, and I just never use either one of them. So I have no experience with the rogue combat in Inquisition at all. All I know about is warrior and mage, and that's what the majority use. But I mean,
I guess I'll concede under the fact that if I do not like the combat, I will be very unhappy with you.
And if you're gonna stick with...
And then next year, if I didn't enjoy the combat, we're doing something to honor the games that should have gotten the nod.
Well, I love Bayonetta. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love Bayonetta. I just...
Alright. I'm just saying. Next year, if I say that I didn't really enjoy the combat at all, even after I switch in the middle and start using your tactics, like you said. Just saying. Alright. So,
I used up my Skyrim goodwill. Because 2012, we were pretty unanimous for Borderlands. We were pretty unanimous for Fire Emblem.
Yeah. That took a little bit of convincing, but yeah.
Well, what were you were wanting to do Last of Us, I think.
I don't remember exactly. I think so. It was either that or, oh, no, I think then you offered, well, what if we did this? And I was like, oh, that's actually really good. And then we came up with the compromise of Fire Emblem, yeah. So there's none of the games other than Inquisition. You're saying you would maybe, if I twisted your arm 100% more,
Bayonetta.
We could get Bayonetta, but you really, 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 really want Dragon Age.
Yes. That is what I'm saying.
All right.
If I failed, I will accept.
I'll give you this. The story so far is intriguing me.
I'm
just worried about that. I'm just worried about the combat. That's the only thing that worries me. And if, after playing further, taking some of your advice, even trying to find advice just for somebody who's playing a dual-hand rogue,
I will research that immediately.
I'll concede it. It's really good. It's so far. I'll reluctantly concede and say it's Dragon Age Inquisition. Okay. It's done. For another year, it's done. There you have it.
Thank you.
Our game of the year for 2014 is Dragon Age Inquisition. Even though it feels wrong when I'm saying it.
Bayonetta 2 is a really good second.
It's a really good game. And so is Far Cry 4, and so is Shovel Knight, and so is Shadow of Mordor.
Yes, you were never going to convince me on Shadow of Mordor.
So South Park, Stick of Truth, it's so good.
Yes, South Park's probably I mean, that's roughly, well, that's roughly like my top 6.
If Titanfall had had more
Yes.
content in the base game from the beginning,
Yeah.
or if they had been supporting it much faster,
Yeah.
with the new modes, new content, I might have tried to fight to at least get it on the list, if nothing else.
My personal goes Dragon Age, South Park, Bayonetta, Shovel Knight. I had a different 5th game because I had to drop it and we had to put in Far Cry, and I had Middle Earth at like 5 or 6. I just you were never going to convince me on Middle Earth because the ending falls apart. The ending of that game is terrible. Everything else is great.
I mean, you might have to explain that once I start playing.
Well, it's just...
Or, you know what? At this point, I kind of don't care how it ends, per se. So maybe later on you can spoil it for me.
Yeah. Well, it's also just what you do. It's just like... It builds up and it just falls flat. Okay. So, alright. So it is... Right. I have used up my equity. And now I have to hope that you like... Because did you ever play Witcher 2?
Unfortunately, no. I still haven't started it.
Okay, but you either you bought
still own it.
Okay, you already.
I still actually own both. I own both now. I installed it for free.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you could trade in your discount.
I could, yeah.
All right. So we need to get you, because the Witcher combat.
I want to play through Dragon Age.
Yeah.
See whether I'm going to enjoy this combat. And then play through something else to clear my palate, and then maybe try Witcher 3.
Or
2.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. No, I got.
Because I still haven't played that.
Right, and I'm just worried that this time next year I'm going to have the same thing with you over Witcher, and I used up my equity on Dragon Age.
From what I've seen, the combat in Witcher 3 looks way better than Witcher 2.
I think it's going to be fairly similar, just tweaked.
Well, I mean, from the base game. From the combat I watched in quick looks, initially.
Yeah. It's just, it's very, like, precision.
It's deliberate.
Yeah.
As opposed to Dragon Age Inquisition, which is a lot less deliberate.
Yeah, there's tactical choices, but it's not as...
It's a bit more flailing.
Yeah,
Like, I gotta hold this right trigger down until my power recharges. Yeah, maybe I'm just not managing threat correctly or whatever. I don't know yet.
Yeah.
Hopefully you can help me figure it out.
Yes.
And then maybe if I get on the right track, I can enjoy it even if I'm not super in love with it.
Yeah.
All right. So we've been rambling on for way too long. I'm gonna call that a show because wow.
Yeah.
You're gonna make me edit this, aren't you?
Sorry.
3-hour tour.
Well, we haven't done a whole show that long.
No, it's about 3 hours.
I don't think it's that long.
It's close, if not exactly 3 hours.
All right.
All right, so that's going to do it for this episode. Don't forget to subscribe to us on iTunes, the Zoom Marketplace, or if you're on the go, you can get us through Stitcher for your smartphones. Go ahead and follow us on Twitter or Facebook. We are at Checkmate Arcade on Twitter. We are on Facebook. We are Checkmate Arcade, two words, to put a space in between. And if you want to follow us individually on Twitter, you can follow me at Dark Bossman.
I'm at MSU Hitman.
And that's going to do it for another year of Golden King domination deliberations and nominee picking for the Game of the Year. I'm too tired to even go out on anything else, so we'll see y'all again next year for the same thing, because we're going to be doing this again.
Peace out, everybody.